takes the snap, hands it for Scadaboo, grinding forward toward the end zone. Scadaboo is in. Touchdown, New York. Third one tonight for Scadaboo, who does a cartwheel after the touchdown.
Yeah, courtesy NFL Westwood One, heard right here on 92.3 The Fan. 34-17 Giants win it. They're 2-4. The Eagles lose back-to-back games for the first time since 2023. Cavaliers last night lose in Chicago, 119-112 in the loss. Donovan Mitchell, a game-high 22 points. Baseball playoffs, National League Division round. Dodgers beat the Phillies in 11 innings, 2-1. The winning run scores on a throwing error, and the Dodgers take the series in 4 games. Cubs blank the Brewers 6-0. That series now tied at 2 games apiece. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
All the Browns and NFL news you may have missed at work. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
There they go.
Big Dex trying to hold him up.
Good luck finding the ball here. 4th and inches. He's got it. Got what he needed, and that's going to set up a first down and goal. Here we go again. The tush push. No signal yet. Just a little bit short. The only way you stop it is to outlaw it, right?
I guess.
2nd and goal. One more time. Crowd hates it. Eagles love it. Touchdown.
Under center, takes the snap, hands it for Scadaboo, grinding forward toward the end zone. Scadaboo is in. Touchdown, New York. Third one tonight for Scadaboo, who does a cartwheel after the touchdown.
And don't forget that over the last 8 years, the Giants have the 2nd worst record in the National Football League, eclipsed only, in a manner of speaking, by the Jets. This has been the factory of sadness, with all due respect to Cleveland. Yeah, they coined the term there years ago.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Audio courtesy of Prime. And
Westwood One.
Westwood One. Thank you very much. Hi.
Kenny.
Okay, are they they're the factory of sadness now. Hey, good on your go let Mike know. Al Michaels knows about the clip.
Yeah, that was a Mike
Al Michaels knows about the video. That's pretty cool. They're the factory of sadness now because even though they won, Al Michaels gave it to them. They get to keep it. Don't want to hear anything.
The factory is only sad when the Eagles are in the Meadowlands.
Wait, it's not.
That's how it works.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then they're like a satellite company of the factory of sadness. Then
weren't the Eagles like 8-point favorites last night?
They're a branch.
They won the Super Bowl last year,
and they've lost. They lost to Denver last week. That was an ugly game.
Yep. Tush push done.
So I was
I'm on
watching
your side now. I think I'm on your side.
So I was watching this game, but when was the succession of tush pushes?
There were 4 straight, and if there wasn't a timeout, there would have been 5 straight. They did it to get a 1st and goal. They did it twice to get a 1st and goal, and then they did it 2 more times to get into the end zone. And the people in the stadium are booing their asses off. The internet was going nuts last night. I'm watching this game.
Were they actually lined up correctly and they didn't go early?
No. Because the broadcast highlighted, they did the zoom in and they're going and they show it was great. It was great television. I mean, Prime has spent a bunch of money on this thing.
It looks great. Every time I'm on Prime, it looks amazing.
They zoom in. They show the guard who, because it's slow-mo, I can say clearly, they probably got this thing timed up like crazy. But because it's slow-mo, he's clearly going before the snap. I mean, it is, when they slow it down, it is unbelievable. So definitely someone is saying something to Brian Daboll, and they show Brian Daboll, and he's screaming at the ref. It's not the craziest Daboll meltdown you've ever seen or even heard of, obviously, when he was a coach here in Cleveland. But he was going, you got to be, you could see him dropping F-bombs and things like that.
You can't review that, right?
A false start, I don't think so.
You know, what's amazing is the tush push was so effective. What year are we on? Is this 4? Year 4 of this?
Yes.
Okay. It's been incredibly effective since almost day one. When did they start having to move early? They didn't move early when this thing started because it would have been nipped in the butt
I don't know about that. I think we just didn't talk about it.
I wonder if the timing of it was just good enough, and the camera, I never saw that camera angle. You brought it up a couple weeks ago. Yes, we talked about it. I never saw that camera.
Doing the straight down the line camera angle until this season.
Yeah,
it was always like a yard off, so they would go, well, you can't see from this angle, but it's really not over the breaking the plane and those things. So they finally decided in year 150 of the NFL that we're going to go straight down the line with the cameras.
We're like year 125 or something like that. I mean,
Year 75 was a good year. I remember that. I was a kid.
It was very good. I remember 75. I remember those jersey patches. Those were awesome. Great years. I think it's... All right, can I ask a really stupid ref question? I don't know if anybody would know it. Can you bring the side judge or line judge in, or do they have to stand?
Oh, so they changed their formation.
Well, because if everybody everybody in the world knows what they're going to do. So unless Jalen Hurts,
you have to declare we are tush pushing.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So
because the way this went, the sequence, real quick for you, they got it down to a 2nd and 1, and they actually threw a pass from the Giants 3. And that was incomplete. And then they went tush push for 0 yards. Tush push for 2 yards to get a first down.
Yes.
Tush push for 0 yards. They're at the 1 now. And then tush push for 1 yard and a touchdown. And that was it started with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. And it ended with 6:56. So they ate 2-something minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
And went 3 yards by just pushing their quarterback a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
I know they wouldn't do this because then they would definitely outlaw it. But I'm kind of curious to see what a whole game made out of tush push would look like.
I don't even think 1906 football is like that.
Because I guarantee
it looked like a game that a country that we dominate in the Olympics.
Because if you see old footage, there's veers. Remember the Chiefs ran a play from that? There is actually some deception where the ball's going.
From a UCLA film from 1948.
Yeah, there is some deception of it. It wasn't. I'm sure there was a time where it basically just looked like a big scrum every time, but I mean the game has evolved, and then it goes back to this
because they probably have how many tentacles off the tush push. I remember 3 weeks ago they showed 2 more variations that were I got to cover that guy too. This is impossible for the defense because they threw these variations at it.
What rule do you have to instill? You just can't push the quarterback forward? I think that must just be the way. Or you can't push anybody forward behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
You got to come up with a rule against it. So maybe it's you can't push anybody because you would just turn around and hand it to a fullback, and then everybody would push him forward, and then we'd be sitting here next year going, "You got to be bleeping kidding me!" That's going to create frustration. Yeah. So I think you have to say you can't push anybody forward behind the line of scrimmage.
Even that would give the defense a little bit of an advantage if you handed the ball off. So maybe be you can do it, but you've got to take that extra time to hand the ball off.
Carrier or anyone? Because if it's me, I'm now just taking those 2 people they put behind Hurts, put them right beside him, and they push the guards, and then Hurts just waits for that to happen and then just goes behind them.
Well, but the more time he's waiting, you assume the more time they have to get to him.
The guys on the end are getting down the line and things like that. This is getting pretty gritty.
This is getting nitty gritty here.
The fun thing is we're talking about this. They've lost 2 straight games. It's not like this is such an advantage that it just. I think it's more aesthetically.
They blocked a field goal with no time left that would have given. I don't remember who they were playing, but that was the same week that it was week 3. It was the week that the Browns beat the Packers. The Eagles were going to lose that week too, and they blocked the field goal and ended up returning it and winning by 7. But they were up by 1, and whoever their opponent was had a chance to win that game. I mean, the Chiefs game was close. They beat the Chiefs, but it was close in week 2. They could be 1-4 right now, just as easily as they are 3-2.
I did
4-2.
Yeah. They won 4 in a row, and then they got beat by the Broncos, and then they got beat
2-4, but they're 4-2.
There was a lot of Jalen Hurts. Some people were comparing him to some really bad quarterbacks without the tush push, which I don't want to go that far.
Well, the thing about Jalen Hurts is he is undoubtedly he's one of these guys we debate to death like Dak Prescott, but undoubtedly in the biggest games of his career, he's been amazing. Like Eli Manning has, 2 Super Bowl runs that he's been amazing, and we don't know what to do with Eli.
Nice.
Holy cow, Jalen Hurts has played
6 playoff wins, and it's in 2 different Super Bowl runs, and that's it.
Yeah.
We got to call it what it is. Quarterback play's been on its ass for the last 3 years. There's 4 quarterbacks that, and Owen, this is why, there's a sincere, I don't resent you or I'm jealous of you, because we observe it, and my dog doesn't have a fight, but that's why there's sincere, love that the Chiefs struggle a little bit because you have one of the quarterbacks that can push the ball down the field.
I get it, and that's why everybody's saying that Mahomes has fallen off.
Yeah.
It's just, they're losing games right now. And we had Herm Edwards on. He talked about his arm slot, and he was right.
I found this morning. Yeah, you're right. Because they're all, I think right now, if we really, you want to get really nitty gritty about it, I'll get as nitty gritty as possible. Fine. Play the damn thing. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Because it's the first segment.
It's
I'm going to get nitty gritty.
Nitty gritty football.
Jamison Crowder wheel route down the right sideline. Jordan Reed touchdown and a 4x1 individual ISO slant.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Of Sean McVay. The quarterbacks that can push the ball down the field right off the top of your head right now. Lamar, can he push the ball down the field?
Well, he can't play right now.
All right. Okay, that's a fair point considering we're going into a week.
He pushes the ball down the field after chaos ensues.
There you go.
He can't do it from the pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, still I'm looking for anybody right now, so I'm gonna throw him in there.
Okay.
Him.
Joe
Burrow, who's not available, Pat Mahomes, and Josh Allen, and that's it. That's it, right off the top of your head. I found this before the show this morning. This is from Patent Analytics. Social media reactions presented by Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. 6:13 and 34 seconds for those scoring at home. And it says quarterbacks that are screen merchants. And it says screen rate, how many times they run screens per game versus EPA per screen. And right near the top, they got Bo Nix right up there at the top of it. Actually, Baker Mayfield has a lot. Aaron Rodgers has a lot. And I go, these are known as pretty good quarterbacks right now. You're getting the ball because quarterback play is so on its ass. It's hey, we got weapons. We still got guys who can fly. Get the ball in their hands and let them go in space. Because right now,
high safety defense.
Yes, well, but I'm not going to change that rule. Find a way to go out and beat it. Get your guys going. Get vertical. Go ahead and do it. And I know you agree with that. That's why I love you. And there's another thing to it is, and I think Owen may agree with me on this, and this is where the youth football comes in. You're going to hate me for this, but it's true. They're saying Arch Manning in the arm slot and guys in their arm slot trying to throw sidearm passes. And I'm like, okay, Arch Manning isn't doing it. But I think a lot of guys, a lot of college guys, high school kids, I'm like, are you guys actually watching games? Or are you just watching Instagram, TikTok highlights? Matt Stafford was the first guy you ever saw really do that because he was in the league before Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't do that when he doesn't have to. Mahomes would love to stand there in the pocket with a clean pocket and deliver the football with a good base and a strong body and arm the way that Patrick Mahomes is built. He doesn't want to, I'm looking over here and I'm doing it's not a magic trick, guys. You're not David Copperfield. They do that because they have to and they're talented enough to do it. That's not the beginning of the play. And I think we're seeing that crap. Plus, there's so many guys that they transfer here, they transfer there, they transfer here, which is fine. They can get their money, but you don't know what coaching you get from school to school. So now you're only going back to that. You're going back to bad habits, and now you're in the pros. And I got to try to coach bad habits out of you. Okay, well, one winner ain't going to coach a bad habit out of you. So you know what? We got to move the ball down the field. I'm going to get fired. So I got an embarrassment of riches in some of these cases, not the Browns. I got an embarrassment of riches in some of these cases with weapons. We're running a screen. We're going to get the ball. Short routes, screens, outs, crossers.
Get ready. I think
that's what we're going to do.
I think you just called the entire game plan for the Browns against the Steelers on Sunday.
The Steelers, Warren's their running back. He's averaging 13 yards a catch.
Now, is Isaiah Bond going to run a full route, or are we going to trot? I want to thank you for exposing that, by the way.
Why?
I cannot tell you how many people either texted and went, thank God somebody else noticed, or went, man, he's right. They went back and watched the video. My phone lit up over the last 4 days since you said that about Isaiah Bond giving up on routes.
God, you hate to see that from a rookie.
Oh yeah,
because if he's doing that now, what is that guy if he gets a contract?
Oh well.
By the way,
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't know if we're going to approach that bridge at this point.
By the way, we have obviously lavished a lot of praise for the Andrew Berry draft because they've got rookies that were plug and play immediately that have been really good. I know it hasn't really showed up with their record, but you can tell there's a lot to get excited about when it comes to the rookies. The first time I feel like I've ever said that about more than one guy in an Andrew Berry draft class. What do we say about the Giants? I know they're only 2-4, but they've gotten not much out of Abdul Carter, who was the guy that there were some Browns fans that wanted to take him, number 2 overall. Quarterback, running back that had that place feeling like the Browns when we opened the victory fridges.
Oh, just
that place was going bonkers last night for their rookies.
Take the QB. I think that's what it is now. Right?
Did we make a mistake passing on Jackson Dart?
Oh, at number two.
Well, wouldn't that be even number 2?
If he ends up,
he went 25.
If he ends up being really, really, really good, I think that's.
You could have traded down again.
I think it's way too early to say that we made a mistake by passing on him at number 2. But I think that he is a bit of a tail. Like, are we going to be the number 2 team that drafts in this year's draft? Do you think, or we might be top 5, but do you think we'll be number 2?
We'll be no, I don't think we'll be 2.
Okay,
but
so I got Brian Daboll, who I trust as far as I can throw him, and I can't even pick him up. It's not a fat joke on him, even though it sounds like it. Anyway, I don't trust Brian Daboll too terribly much, but I also think that if you got a guy who can get what's best out of a quarterback, and he can get something out of a QB, he's tried to do it in the past certainly, then I think that you go, all right, let's take this guy, because I think we have to lower our expectations for quarterbacks. When you know who came into the league in 2018, it was at an all-time high. Drive the ball down the field. I mean, you're coming out of the Brady was still playing, but you're coming off of those runs where it was 5,500 yards and 55 touchdowns and driving the ball down the field vertically. Guys, it's not that league anymore. So, what did Jackson Dart throw for yesterday? Real quick before we go to break. What was it, 194?
195, but 195. He rushed for 60 yards.
Okay. Well, get the athlete out in space as best you can without trying to take big hits. He only got sacked twice. And
he was a bulldozer last night. I don't know how long they can get away with that. They're basically running him into the ground immediately.
But they got to win games. And 195 yards, but look at the average, 7.8, which is kind of right where you would want to be against cover 2 or too high. That's right where you want to be. 216-474-0092. Tush push dead. Around the room real quick. Yes.
I hope so.
I mean, it's not going to die this year, but it's on its way to death. Okay. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Daryl Ryder going to join us on the show. Coming up at 9 o'clock, is Jerry Jeudy flirting with a lost season? Nathan Zegura going to join us. Also, the Browns are 1-4, but somehow there's some Browns fans taking an odd victory lap. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
against a division team on the road, or at home, should I say. Home crowd was awesome, but we got to give them a reason to be awesome too. So another good game by our rookie quarterback, but another good game from everybody around him, and that's what we needed. It's not about one guy, it's about a team. 2 turnovers on defense, very good third down execution on offense, ran the ball well, finished the game. It's good to have a young leader like Dart.
This is stupid. That's Brian Daboll. You guys, this is stupid. This is incredibly stupid. I'm not having this conversation. It's the same thing that I don't want to. I don't want to sit here and have this stupid conversation. The Browns are screwing over Shedeur Sanders. Let's play the Ryan Clark and Mina Kimes and allegedly skip. I don't want to have that conversation, and I ain't having this one yet. It's been 3 effing games. Stop it. Stop it. I don't wish him. No, it's been 4 games. I don't wish him any. I don't wish him any bad. I don't wish him any bad whatsoever. It's not what I'm trying to point out here. I'm not hearing this crap. That's ridiculous. It was the number 2 overall pick. Who was saying to take him number 2 overall?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody was saying that.
Who at all was saying to take him number 2 overall?
But
nobody.
But
no. There's
nobody.
no but.
Hold on.
There's no but.
Here is the but.
I've
got the but.
No, Keith
Would you like
especially.
The but?
No. See in hell.
We need the but.
Hey, Lima, give me the butt.
The but is nobody was saying to take Lamar Jackson number 2 overall either. And where did the Baltimore Ravens get Lamar Jackson?
Wow.
They got him. Was he the last pick in the first
round? Yeah.
And where did Jackson?
You're talking about a 2-time MVP, not a guy who started his 3rd game.
Where did Jackson Dart go yesterday?
You are talking about a 2-time MVP. Is it 2 or 3? I'm losing count on Lamar Jackson.
2.
You're talking about a 2-time MVP against a guy who just started his 3rd game. 2-time MVP. That's the comparison you just made.
Well, but
I'm not lowering myself to this.
This isn't for me and you, though. This isn't for me and you because there was one point before the combine we were talking about Shedeur Sanders going number 2 overall. This is not for me and you. We are not the real evaluators. The question is for Andrew Berry. Can Andrew Berry? People were tweeting me yesterday. He had the best draft of the last 10 years. Could he possibly have the best draft in the last 10 years in the NFL if Jackson Dart ends up being amazing?
No.
And we don't have a quarterback.
Probably not, no.
No.
Well, wait a minute. Are you saying the best draft in the last 10 years in the NFL?
Oh, yeah. People were tweeting me that yesterday.
Well, it's a little premature on that, too.
Yeah, I would say so. It's been an awesome start.
This is silly.
It's been an awesome start.
This whole thing is dumb.
I mean, Judkins looks awesome. Schlesinger looked great in the first 3 games. Last 2, he's been kind of eh. Mason Graham, first few games was great.
He leads the NFL in tackles for rookies. He's 10th overall. What do you mean he's been
I didn't think
fine.
I think he struggled last week against the misdirection. I think the
whole defense struggles against the misdirection.
Yeah, but you could tell. I think
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was the only guy who didn't really struggle against misdirection.
I think Carson was going where the ball wasn't.
Sometimes you guess wrong.
He's a rookie. He's He's going to make rookie mistakes.
Well, you know what? Jackson Dart wasn't very good against New Orleans. So do we want to do this? I didn't hear a damn word after the New Orleans game. So 3 games in. He was good last night. I'm not taking that away from him.
I thought he was great last night.
He was really good last night. Lord, I'm not going to split those hairs either. I'm not having this conversation.
I didn't watch Jackson Dart.
I'm not having this conversation.
Again, we are not the evaluators. The Browns are the evaluators. You see,
but what you do...
Andrew Berry is the evaluator. I didn't want any part of Jackson Dart.
I think it's an insult.
I do remember after the bowl game was the first time people started talking about it.
It's an yes, of course. But you also remember the Florida game last year that we talked about.
It was the all-time worst.
Talked about other games last year.
It was
the
worst panic mode situation I think I've ever seen. I said I don't want any part of this guy.
Do we not remember the Senior Bowl where there was zero awareness whatsoever? Yeah. Like, hey man, like he's doing well. He had a really good game last night. I think it's an insult to my own intelligence and to everybody listening to have that conversation of should we have taken him number 2 overall 3 games into his career?
I don't think, again, not number 2 overall.
Then what was the issue? That was the thing about number 2 overall. That's what you asked me. That's what Keith was texting you about.
It didn't have to be number 2 overall. That's what I'm saying. You could have still done all the stuff you did at the top. You could have traded down to 5. You could have you could have also, I mean, what was the Judkins? Where did they get Judkins in the second round? I mean, you had enough ammo that if you wanted to get back into the first round, you certainly could have.
33? I don't know.
Yeah, it was in the 30s.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Jackson Dart was not, as a prospect, he was not clean enough to go number 2 overall.
Okay. All right. 216-474-99.
Judkins was 36th.
No, that's right. 36. Wheels on the road. Hello, Wheels.
Hey, guys. I know it's 3 games in. I love Jackson Dart coming out. I remember calling in saying 2.
You called in?
Were you the guy tweeting at me?
Do you have a recording?
It was like, I actually looked up your Facebook post last night because I saw you posted.
This is the guy. This is the one guy.
Weeks ago. Yeah.
I remember this man.
I called last year about Bo Nix too and got the same result. Not from you guys, but the afternoon show.
Well, why don't you just go to Berea?
And Wheels.
I need your help, Wheels.
I wish, man. I wish. I look at these guys. I do it for fun.
Well, stop doing it for fun and do it for real. Do it for a cottage industry.
By the way, the guys that you have wanted have in successive weeks defeated the defending Super Bowl champs.
I mean, I guess I could be right. I mean, I'm not going to hang my hat. I also liked Allen, but let's be honest. Are all of these guys going to be successful with the Browns?
Did you like Mahomes?
Wheels. Hold on.
No, I did not. I did not like Mahomes.
Oh, he's on this.
But I also like Kenny Pickett. So, I mean, I'll take the loss on Kenny Pickett all day.
Well, stop saying names.
Really, Yazoo situation.
3 for 5. Yeah, we got a Yaboo going.
Kenny Pickett's story is not done.
Yeah, it's not finito yet. Yeah, he had Matt Canada as an offensive coordinator. I mean, you might as well just encase him in a tomb if you have Matt Canada as your offensive coordinator. Hey, real quick, I can't do anything about the past, Wheels. I remember when he called in about this. I can't believe my mind works this way. I remember you did that. Who do you like for the future? Because I can't go back in the past. Who do you like out of this class?
I hated Arch Manning. I said he was overrated.
Well, he ain't coming out this year. So don't worry about
Garrett Nussmeier all day.
Garrett Nussmeier?
Yep.
Wheels. Wait a minute. Wheels. People are off of him, man. They're off of him big time. Now, I think he's playing injured. People are off of him, brother. Why do you like Garrett Nussmeier so much?
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
No.
He's looking at his scouting reports.
Well, I'm on his turn. I'm on his time, not mine.
Oh, he's on the road?
I'm on Wheels' time, not my time. Wheels, are you there? Did we lose him?
We lost him.
We lost Wheels.
I could have done this all day with Wheels.
He said Garrett Nussmeier and disappeared like Kaiser Sose.
But if he's saying Garrett Nussmeier and he also said Jackson Dart and he also said Bo Nix, then you have to go back. Garrett Nussmeier's got to climb your board now.
Because of Wheels?
Because of Wheels.
But the track record 3 out of 5 ain't bad. And the other two, who was the other guy?
If he was on Josh Allen and Bo Nix and if Jackson Dart ends up being good, I mean, what are the Browns doing? You pay 30 guys to be on your analytics team. Pay Wheels.
This sucks. I can't believe we're doing this. Well, the only thing I can do is learn from the past. I can't go back and change it. So find a guy in this coming draft class. I don't hear, you can't take anybody. You can't. No, you can. Obviously, you can clearly take somebody. So find a guy that you love and pick him out and just go with it. Whether it is Garrett Nussmeier, not Drew Aller, whether it might be Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, or is John Mateer maybe playing?
He wants to play. He keeps saying, I want to play.
Well, Pete Thamel last night said, sources, Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer is in line. Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer is in line to attempt to play against Texas on Saturday. His injured right hand will be monitored, and there's no certainty he'll be able to go. He's listed as questionable. It's a very big non-update, according to Pete and Tom Fornelli, about what Pete Thamel put out there. So maybe our very own version of Baker Mayfield could possibly be there.
Toradol in that hand. Let's go.
Do whatever you got to do, man. Do whatever you got to do. And if he is willing to do that, I'm going to go, he's a gamer, man. This guy's willing to go out there and sacrifice. For Oklahoma football, who knows what he'd be willing to do for Browns fans.
Biggest game of the year.
Pick your guy and go. Pick your guy and go. Because I ain't having number 2 overall, and I'm not doing revisionist history over all that stuff. They had a really nice draft class here, and that's all there is to it. Okay?
But does having a really nice draft class matter until you get a quarterback?
Yeah, why not? Because you have a real nice draft class, and if a quarterback goes out there, like the better Jackson Dart does, probably the more annoyed Jimmy Haslam's going to be with them not having a quarterback. So, guys, you might get both of what you wanted. You can get rid of your GM and have a nice draft class here, and maybe pick somebody who can pick quarterbacks. Maybe you have it all, Browns fans, and you don't even know it. Daryl, 820. That's going to be a hoot. Up next, speaking of Browns fans, there is a very weird, odd victory lap going on here. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. Take us with you to work in the free Odyssey app and watch us for free on YouTube Live.
Anthony Lima for Dime.
Electric Service, your locally owned and operated electricians, offering 24/7 emergency services for both residential and commercial needs. With an A+ Better Business Bureau and 4.9-star Google review ratings, call or visit TriCountyElectricService.com.
There is scandal afoot. Scandal is going on right now in the city of Cleveland, friends.
We might have uncovered something. We might have a morning show investigation.
Oh, you guys.
It's a real clown show. That's what it is.
You know what? Way to tease it. Do you want to get down to the bottom of it at 7:45 during About Last Night? 7:45. We have a... I can't get the Galax on, so I can't say an I-team investigation. That's what I wanted to do. We have a...
Peggy's probably listening right now.
We have
put it out.
Yeah, she might be listening.
Yeah, because
we
I
have
think...
a Lima investigation
guys,
going
I think
on right
a
now.
fraud is being foisted
something bad going
upon many people here in the region, and we've got some levels to peel off of this one to figure it out.
Oh, man. 216-474-0092. So you're seeing a weird... I want to leave this to you. You had this observation. You saw a weird victory lap going on yesterday.
Yeah. So, obviously, we all agree, despite what we went into, and some people fired up about the New York Giants draft and whether the Giants might have had a better draft than us, because they won a game last night. It was on national television, and they had the running back and they had the quarterback, and Abdul Carter's not even really racking up the stats or anything yet. But the Browns draft they just had this year is the best sense. I mean, you got to go. Okay, if you want to say John Dorsey's Baker and Denzel Ward draft, right? That's incredible. Those are two hits immediately. I mean, Baker is an MVP candidate. Denzel Ward is one of the best corners in the league. All these years later,
at least we still got one of them.
And you got one of them.
Got that great corner while we were getting ready to go 1-5. Continue.
So the Browns. Like every guy, starter, from Judkins to Schlesinger to, and we're not even factoring in Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders yet. Mm-hmm. It's a great draft, and fans with the Greg Newsome trade, I posted yesterday on social media back-to-back drafts where the only guys left playing right now on the active roster are Jerome Ford in back-to-back drafts. And who is the other one? Not JOK.
I didn't.
Not JOK because
point you did.
Obviously he's out.
Who's the other one?
Who is the other one?
Grant Delpit?
That was a different year.
Well, then I'm lost, man. You got to help me.
But
on
either
that.
way, it's two lean, very lean drafts.
Okay.
From the Brown. Martin Emerson is injured. Alex Wright, he's the other one. So
he's doing well.
So I just posted. I said here are two drafts, and unfortunately, JOK's injured. Martin Emerson is injured. I don't know if JOK's are going to play again. Emerson's coming off of a terrible, terrible injury. So what does this mean for Barry? And people started giving me the laser eyes again yesterday. And I'm like, I think we got to retire.
Did you really get laser eyes?
Yeah, I think we got to.
Were they meant in jest or were they meant, no, come on.
Because
we're not laser eyes in
with
here.
the Newsome deal, everybody was saying, see, it's still chess, not checkers. When it comes to the Browns, look at the money they're saving and look at the cap ramifications and look at the manipulation of the cap.
Money we're saving.
Who cares about all the money tied up with Deshaun Watson, Myles Garrett next year, and, well, really a host of others, but Denzel Ward.
I care. Why wouldn't I care? Well, it doesn't matter about the money. If they were a good football team, nobody would care about the money. They're 1-4. So if we're talking about saving money, if we're going to sit here and brag about the Browns saving money, I don't want to hear a word about the Guardians. I don't want to hear a word. I want you all on record. If you want to call in and say that you're a Andrew Berry guy because we're saving money, you better not be calling us up in the spring about Paul Dolan. That doesn't compute. If they were saving money and they were 4-1 champions post, you still have to have good players though. I could sit here and I could languish about Deshaun Watson all I want, but there's other issues there that are playing into this. I don't care if you save money. I care if you have a good football team. It's a cap system. And you know what I think about the cap anyway. Go out there and have a good football team. That's what matters. Not about, well, we're poised for the future. Okay, what about the now? Because you've been around now for 6 years. What about the now are we not able to do? You gave up on 3 first-round draft picks for a single guy. Well, what happened with that single guy? Not much. And again, every time you show him on social media, people cuss him out on social media. So, yeah, we're getting an abundance of savings. If Andrew Berry, I will tell you, may have done enough by the time this is all said and done, because they're only 1-4. Now, it can get far worse. It's the Browns. But it could get better. I heard Ross Tucker going, hey, he could see a 6-6, but more than likely over that 12-game stretch. He said he could see 6-6, but he said really more than likely you're seeing 4 in whatever. You know what I mean? 4 and 8. That's what you're looking at. So if you're a 5-win team, is that enough for you to save your job? I'm not sure if it is. I don't know if it's, but everybody we know says his job's not in jeopardy right now. Now, I don't know if that's going to still be the same thing come January, and I don't know if that's going to be the same thing. I'll tell you where Jackson Dart does matter. If he's playing that well at the end of the year, yeah, that's going to be brought up because the owner's obsessed with finding a quarterback. He's obsessed. So that might be the owner's own evaluation, but I don't know if that is. I don't think that is. So then you have to wonder, okay, what's your team doing to find your QB? Because the guy's obsessed with it. So that's when I'll judge the whole Jackson Dart. Could we have still moved back and then taken Jackson Dart or taken him at number 2 for the love of God? All that other stuff.
Here's the interesting thing. He's being given credit, but there's always been a faction that have never left Andrew Berry because there are a bunch of guys that have always wondered, could I be a GM? Could I do the things? And they know the cap. Like, these are people, I'll be honest, there are different levels to understand all of these sports. Like, I am not in on the NFL salary cap like I am the NBA. And part of it is, the reason is the NBA kind of acts like a really, really serious hard cap. Like, there are things you just can't do. In the NFL, you can always just keep moving into the future. So every team every year is under the cap. Like, there's never a situation where a team can't conduct business in the NFL because of the cap. You can always just restructure contracts and move. But at the same time, there are like these limitations. So I'm not up on the cap as much as everybody else.
Saying that people have in your I didn't see any of this.
People said, well, next year they've actually got a little bit of flexibility. They can actually, have.
How much are we looking at?
I saw people saying yesterday, right now, before they even make all their different maneuvers, they can be 10 or 15 million under the cap.
Okay, what do we think the record's going to be next year?
They're one of the worst teams in the league. Who cares? Like, why are we talking about salary cap?
So I used to be one of those guys because I would tell myself anything I could to make myself feel better, even though the thing was going right into the ground. When we brag about cap space, we're trying to make ourselves feel better about our team that's bad. 9 teams out of 10 that are bragging about cap space, their teams are bad and they're trying to make themselves feel better about it. Our team's bad. We're trying to make ourselves feel better about it. And I can't be bragging over $10 million in cap space, where if the team is still bad, I'm going to have a lot of guys making a lot of money who aren't playing very well. Okay, well, whose responsibility is that? So, yeah, they got time to get this thing going in the right direction. I don't know if it's going to be this Sunday, considering all the distractions that they've had to deal with this week. But, yeah, you got plenty of time to get this thing going in the right direction. Do I have faith that it will? Hey, you can have a bad season, a bad record season, and have your rookies play well. Is that going to be enough to gain the trust of the fan base and the ownership, or keep the trust of the ownership, to go into next year when you are going to be looking for it? Because if Jackson Dart, I'll use Jackson Dart as the example here. He keeps continuing playing well. You have the Bo Nix situation with the caller just called up. Well, clearly you can find him in all shapes and sizes. You can go out there and take your quarterback anywhere in the draft, or at least in the first couple of rounds, and I don't want to hear a damn thing about it. So eventually you're going to have to find somebody where the scouts are going to have to scout and find the most important position still that's on the field. 216-474-0092. I'll get to some of you guys, and it's been a week of distraction. It's saying goodbye to old friends. But if you win on Sunday, against the odds, Kevin, it could change everything for you. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
Bucks, the deciding Game 5 tomorrow night in Milwaukee. Get all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during the regular season by following the Browns playlist at 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Find out what happened in Berea while you're working. The Afternoon Drive, weekdays at 2, 92.3 The Fan.
Coming up at around 7:22, I know why you don't like him, and it has nothing to do with he himself. Who is he? You probably know, but I'll tell you, it's 7:22. 216-474-0092. It's been a week of distraction. I was asked right before a TV show yesterday, who are you taking? Are you taking Pittsburgh or Cleveland? I said, I'm taking Pittsburgh. Okay, why? I got to give a reason. I said, well, they traded away Joe Flacco on Monday, which is not a reason because he wasn't going to play. Then they traded away Grant Delpit on Wednesday night, their starting cornerback, before the game. That's probably more of a reason that they've been dealing with distraction all week. That we've been talking about everything else because the Browns front office has made these moves. We've been talking about everything else before the game because we haven't had the chance to talk about the game. And Calvin Austin's probably not going to play. Is Alec Highsmith going to play?
I thought
sure if he's going to play.
I thought yesterday it was looking like yes.
Oh, he's banged up. I mean, who's going to play, who's not going to be able to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers? We haven't had a chance to really talk about it because you've been making trades.
Yeah.
And
this was not a week to break down the Steelers game. This was a week to talk about big trades. Two guys that were starters to begin the year. Joe Flacco, your quarterback, and Greg Newsome, who'd been playing his best football of his career.
Listen, if you feel you got to make moves, Jalen Ramsey, it looks like he's not going to play either. But if you got to make moves, you got to make moves when you got to make them. Okay, they come around fine. And I know Kevin Stefanski, yesterday, bring this clip up. Yesterday, he did try to, see, here I am going about something that's not the Steelers game. Kevin Stefanski yesterday on his show did try to clarify, I think, comments made about the Flacco trade and everything. I know that they highlighted that on the fans' Twitter account yesterday, which might give you a little bit more color behind, what happened with the Joe Flacco trade. They got called. They decided that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make that move, and that's the way it went. But because you make those moves where it calls us into question about what your job is, or what your thoughts were going into this season. What was the quarterback competition, or even, I can't even say the competition. The competition isn't a competition. It was the plan. It was the plan. It wasn't about a starting quarterback competition where, they should not have said it's a 4-guy competition to be the starter. Clearly, it was maybe between 2 guys. Maybe. But when you make that move after like the Kenny Pickett move, I'm going, why did you have guys taking the reps they did in the first place? Which, by the way, I know Daryl loves to do. I told you so. Boy, did I tell you so, because I was getting ripped up and down a few weeks ago about the whole Kenny Pickett thing. And here we are. I'm glad you've come to my side here. Here's Kevin Stefanski yesterday on his show about the quote-unquote surprise of the Joe Flacco trade.
Those things happen so fast. So the initial call comes in, I don't remember the exact day, but surprised that they're in the market. And obviously Joe's a guy that we think highly of and a teammate and all those type of things. So you're not sure where it goes. And, there's conversations going back and forth. And then the conversations start heating up and it happens, over the course of a 24-hour period. And we'll talk about Greg Newsome here in a second. This is, the business of football. These things happen really, really fast. And when other teams come calling, it can kind of take you off guard that you didn't expect them to come calling for your guys. But I trust Andrew and our crew and the dialogue that we have. I trust that we make really good decisions for this football team.
We beat Kevin up on Monday because of what happened against Minnesota, and rightfully so, at least in our eyes, unless you disagree with that right now. We beat Kevin up would have been Wednesday because of the messaging of the whole trade and everything like that. It looked like there was the first seeds of dissension that were sown about a possible power struggle. No matter what people want to say to try to explain it away, it didn't look very good. Then you hear that clip. I don't think you're going to win this game on Sunday because I don't trust your culture. I don't trust the guys that are in the locker room to bring this team along and go out there and win a game in a tough environment that you haven't won since 2003 in the regular season. I don't trust what you've done. Can Kevin redeem himself if they go and they win this game? Because I question, he's not a fiery guy. I've questioned that part about it. He's gotten excited here and there, but not really. he's not a bad cusser or anything like that. I actually think he's a good cusser when he's talking to the team and they bleep it out. I think, though, that he's not the type of guy that's going to give you anywhere near the Dan Campbell, the Mike Vrabel, the rah-rah if you need it. None of that. And I think right now, this is where you batten down the hatches. I mean, you can do X's and O's, and Aaron Rodgers is still really good. You can do all that. You got to get these guys on the same page emotionally. You're about to ride a bus out to Pittsburgh and play a team that's leading your division and is tough. And I just don't know if you got your head in the right place and your heart in the right place to go out there and win that game. That said, you go out there and you do win that game, I think we could change some tunes about Kevin.
You mean
or
just
at least,
that? Yeah,
at least start to right some wrongs, maybe that we've been saying. I mean, myself included, have been saying about Kevin.
Look,
it's an opportunity.
The only way for Kevin to reverse any of the stuff that's out there is to start winning games. And the old lovable cliche that we use, stacking wins. They gotta do it. I know people roll their eyes. They don't think it's going to happen. But you look at the schedule. The winnable games are coming. And this one was never circled before the season as a, quote, winnable game. Not even because Pittsburgh's really great this year, even though the record is pretty good. It's just because we never win. We've had great teams, or pretty good teams, that have not been able to win in Pittsburgh in the regular season. Obviously, we all know what happened in a playoff game. So I think that's part of it. Kevin just needs to win games to get people off his back. And I don't even know how many that would take, because some people are just out on him, period. There have been people that have been out on him for a few years. So with those people, you're not gonna change their hearts and minds. But I think there still is a group that is fickle and will go either way with them depending on the outcomes. He needs to win. He needs good results.
If I have folks that are doing, and I know that you've said that these people are longtime Andrew Berry supporters, could the draft class start to warm you up about Andrew Berry? A quick question. Even if, say, they finish 6-11 this year, can the draft class warm you up towards Andrew Berry?
Sure.
Okay, then if they go out there and they win this game on Sunday, could that not start to warm you up a little bit towards Kevin Stefanski? Knowing that, hey, the rest of the season can go like hell. The rookies could start playing like rookies.
Yeah.
So if I'm willing to warm up a little bit, I don't want to go swinging, falling back in love, and all that other stuff, because that's too emotional, that's too dramatic. I have to hold myself accountable to that way. But I'm really sore about what happened on Sunday against Minnesota. I thought that was an opportunity. The first 6 games are tough. You had yourself a chance. You screwed yourself over on the chance. You get ready for this game. You're going against Pittsburgh. I've just called out your culture, for crying out loud. And if you find a way to circle the wagons there, I'm going to eat a little bit of crow and be excited about it on Monday morning now, aren't I? I mean, this is a challenge towards Kevin Stefanski and the leadership group, quote unquote, that they have on that football team. Because I don't think there's very many fans out there, and I think some are probably just hoping because it's any given Sunday in the NFL. I don't think there's many fans out there who are diehard orange and brown Browns fans who do believe that you're going to give yourself a chance to win on Sunday. Like, that's part of it. Will you give yourself a chance to win on Sunday?
But I'll tell you,
or will we warm up and go through the motions and go out there and get beat?
First of all, Kevin Stefanski always takes one from Pittsburgh, right? And he's beaten Baltimore. Baltimore's been great in the regular season.
Ain't
the
done
last
it over there, though. And they've had some really scary evenings.
Sure, but I'll say this. Like, if Dylan Gabriel wins the game on the road, and it's not just like dink and dunk and screens. Like, if he's actually throwing the ball down the field,
all he needs to do is win. I know where you're going with this.
I think there's a total difference. I think Browns fans, they're not stupid. They know good quarterback play. They will know good quarterback play, and they'll be able to tell the difference between plug and play quarterback and, oh, this guy could elevate everybody else around him. There is a huge difference there, and that does transcend just winning a game in Pittsburgh. You know, if they dink and dunk and win a game by a point and whatever, yeah, we'll be excited. But if it's, oh my God, Dylan Gabriel's good. Like, he is doing things we didn't think he could do. He's actually showing that he's got accuracy down the field and stretching the field. Then it's a different story altogether. Now there's reason to galvanize behind everything that's
I'm willing
going on.
to just take a win, and this is where I'm going to split hairs with you. I'm willing to just take a win because I don't think that they can win in detriment of Dylan Gabriel. I don't think that he can be somebody who's a net negative and then go out and win. I think they kind of did it with Joe Flacco a few weeks ago, but I just don't think that lightning is going to strike twice in an NFL season. So you got to go out there, and I think Dylan Gabriel on the road is going to have to execute at some decent level.
Yeah, but
I would say a high level, even though that defense ain't that great.
He's going to have 3rd and 8 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10s. And if he's converting those, and again, we're not talking just dump-offs.
Yeah, you got to be good.
He's going to have to stretch the field. There are going to be some uncomfortable situations for Dylan Gabriel. Kevin did everything he could to make sure that he wasn't put in those spots. That's going to be impossible this week. There are going to be moments and where that pocket is going to suffocate and collapse, and he's got to start to make plays and look like a decent NFL quarterback. Can't baby him forever. You're just not going to get away with that, especially in a game in Pittsburgh. And so that's what I'm talking about. Fans will recognize that. If he's able to do that, that'll be really exciting.
I'm telling you, man. Do you have faith that they'll be able to rally the troops and get going? Do you have faith?
I don't have a ton of faith. No.
So that's 2/3 of the show. Do you believe that? That's 3/3 of the show right there, and I don't know what Mitch is doing, so I'm just going to say it's an official show stance. I'm sorry. I don't think that you have the culture to go over there in Pittsburgh and go beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I'd love to see it happen. I've never wanted to be more wrong, maybe in my career, than I am about this situation. This is a personal challenge. I'm a Browns fan, damn it. You're a Browns fan. Oh, and you like the Browns. I don't care. I know you're a Chiefs fan, but I'm putting you in the group. I'm putting you in the group, damn it. This is a personal challenge from Browns fans in this studio to that organization, to Kevin, because I love the Browns, and I'll die loving the Browns. But damn it, I don't think that you got the culture to go over there and beat them. I'll lay the challenge down right now, because it's going to take guts to go over there and beat them. You're going to have to ask more, because you don't have the horses to just go out there and beat them. You might have a couple of good diamonds in the rough right there, but you ain't got the horses. So you got a football team that has finished around 9-8 over the last how many years? That has really just existed over the last how many years with Mike Tomlin. Don't think there's not a chance to go out there and beat him. There's a chance to do it. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction? And not having Joe there, that's fine. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction and not having Greg Newsome there, of all the conversation that's been going around this week about everything that's not the Pittsburgh Steelers? Are you going to be able to compartmentalize that and go beat them? I don't think you can. The challenge is out there. And if they do rise to that challenge, I'll give Miles credit. I'll give Joel credit. I'll give the leadership council of what they have credit.
Ooh, the council, the tribunal.
And I will come in here and go, damn it, Kevin, I was as mad as I possibly could be on Sunday afternoon. And I was really mad on Monday about what you did. But clearly you have had to have come up with a game plan and had to have motivated these guys to go out to Pittsburgh and win for the first time in the regular season since 2003. Damn it, that's a big moment, and I would love to be able to do it on Monday. But I don't think they got it in them. 216-474-0092. So let me ask you guys this. I think a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't know what our chances are, Ken. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. How much can Kevin do to redeem himself if they go and they beat Pittsburgh on Sunday? How much can the guys in the locker room, the leadership council, how much can they do to redeem themselves and go out there and beat Pittsburgh on Sunday and not just roll over and get boat raced? 216-474-0092. We get to you guys, and it's not that you don't like him. Well, it is, but it's because of everyone else, not as much because of him. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan.
All right, the young team just can.
Cubs blanked the Brewers 6-0. That series tied at 2 games apiece. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Talk on 92.3 The Fan, presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Can Kevin redeem himself with a win on Sunday?
It's going to take a lot more than one game.
You can really start, though. You can do a lot. Hey, if you can start warming up, where Lima said somebody tweeted to him and said, the Browns are playing chess while the rest of the league is playing football about Andrew Berry. But a lot of people are warming up to Andrew Berry. It's like, hey, man, I really like Carson Schlesinger. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of folks who just, I want him fired. I think there's a lot of people like, I don't like going through searches and all this stuff. It means that you failed. Maybe some people are coming to my side about just wanting people fired. I'm like, I don't like people getting fired. It means that you failed in some way, or that the run of success has come to an end. Now you have to start this over, and you have to try to trust somebody else.
Does the offense have to score over 20 for that to be a Kevin Stefanski win?
Not at all. Not at all.
So they can do it just like they did against Green Bay? Because that was all defense.
I would say no, just because I don't think that's possible to do again. That's why I say no.
I agree with you, but... What if they did?
If they did it again, fine. You were able to motivate them and go out there and win the football game. I'll give them that credit. I got to give, if I attacked the people who argued process over the last few years and said, you guys have to look at the scoreboard eventually, then I have to give him credit for the scoreboard on his end and go, hey, you ended up with more points than the other team. It's the first time you beat them in Pittsburgh since 2003. It would technically be the first time you've actually beat them in Pittsburgh, and even in the postseason, because technically you weren't there. I'm going to give him credit. I want to give him credit. I don't want this thing to fail. I don't want it to fail. But you make these trades this week. All the conversation is about other guys. All the other conversation is about the third team quarterback right now. And the big hard takes that are going on. I mean, Ryan Clark, and I got a lot of respect for Mina Kimes, but them saying that they should get rid of him if they don't make him the backup QB. Like, what are we doing?
Oh, you saw Jason Lloyd wrote yesterday.
What did he write?
Oh, he said.
Oh, yeah.
He said the Browns should just get rid of Shedeur now. What's the point of this?
Great. I think. I wanted to say this, and I'll get back to the Kevin thing. I think a lot of people claim to not like Shedeur Sanders, and I think it's basically because of how we all have argued about him over the last year, really the last 8 months. I'm part of it. You're part of it. We're members of the media. We're part of it. I mean, good God.
But what do you mean?
Well, a lot of people claim to not like him, even more claim to like him because you just tweet his name out there and you get...
Oh, yeah. Owen put up a video, and he just wrote Shedeur Sanders, and somehow, what did you get, 3 million impressions?
3 million impressions.
On Instagram?
Yes, I normally get 300.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so, the funny thing is, people keep telling us, get Shedeur out of your mouth. I keep seeing that tweeted us like crazy, yet they must be searching his name to see what people are saying about him. So, obviously, it's incredible. Like, we had, when you were gone, I did make the mention, like, there's no doubt that his army of supporters are national. There are a bunch here, but they are national. And any of our conversations, they pop up on the Colorado message boards. They pop up like crazy. So he's got a huge fan base. It's why when they drafted him, me and you went nuts. We're like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of new eyeballs on the show. Now it's going to be up to him, to validate that. And look, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I've only heard things. We only hear things every day, and then the Browns leak things. So we're not there. We're not seeing what's going on. But in the end, it's going to be up to him. And I know his supporters, those fans think the Browns are holding him back. They're holding them back. Well, that's like that's every kid in youth sports in America. Their parents think the team and the coach is holding them back. Thing is, the NFL is supposed to be a meritocracy. That doesn't mean some things don't slip through the cracks and some guys end up on a bad side. of a coach or a GM. But guys, this is the Browns. He's going to get an opportunity. Right?
Yeah.
I know Jason Lloyd's saying just get rid of him now. They're not doing that. They're not going to get rid of him now. So he's going to have the opportunity.
If you've been through all this and you've been accused of all these things about holding him back on purpose and how there's a vast conspiracy against Shedeur Sanders, I ain't getting rid of him for nothing. He's playing. At some point this year, because I don't think you're going to end up being very good this year, at some point this year, you're going to end up playing. If I'm the Browns, I didn't go through all this to not play him. He's going to play for the Browns this year. I totally disagree with Jason. No, not a chance. Because you're going for quarterbacks. You're as desperate for a quarterback as anybody has been. He'll have his chance. I just got done getting mad at you and Keith an hour ago about Jackson Dart and the whole, should they have taken him number 2 or should they have traded down, still made their moves and still taken Jackson Dart earlier. If we're going to sit here and have these arguments about all these other quarterbacks, then the quarterback that they have, I have no way. I'd be more mad at them for getting rid of him than any of the other things. Because you sat here and you brought him in. You didn't really have the competition thing, whatever. You didn't set him up for success in terms of reps. You didn't do that. Now, I thought that they were trying to do their very best by doing that, but I thought that they were going to have Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco start the season. I thought they were going to try to hold on to all 4. I didn't realize you were just going to trade away Kenny Pickett, even though Kevin loved him. I didn't think you were just going to trade away Joe Flacco 6 weeks into the season. I should have known it's the Cleveland Browns and anything's possible. But now you've been through all this, you have to see it through. Because if that guy went out there and if you let him go or you traded him away or something like that, like he'd go out there and he could fall flat on his face. Obviously, it's possible. Again, it's the Browns. But if he went out there, if you let him go and he went out there and he played it well for somebody else, I don't know if I could stomach that. It might be my breaking point. Not that I wouldn't love him anymore, but I just would go nuts. I don't know if I could do it anymore. Because I go, nothing is going our way. I'd have to start believing in the supernatural of curses and things of that nature. So, no, you're going to see it through. And I'm sure if he goes out there and he plays, well, great. I'm going to love it, and I'm going to be excited because I was a fan of his father, and I like him. If he goes out there and he sucks up the room, I'm sure the Browns are going to be blamed for putting him in a position and not succeed, and they'll get ripped, and yeah, they'll deal with that. That's fine. Whatever, it happens. I've been through that before with a quarterback. We'll find out what he's able to do with the Browns. But I think that the conversation around him, the constant, if you don't give him something that I think the Browns don't believe he's earned or don't trust him with yet, the constant, you're not being fair, you're not being fair, you're not being fair. There's nothing fair in the NFL. Absolutely. There's nothing fair in professional sports. I think that wears on the Bobs in Brook Park, the Mikes and Lorraine, like that type of thing. I think that wears on.
I'll admit, I'm just assuming he's bad now because for the desperate franchise that the Browns are, for him to be this far back, this far behind, I got to assume he's bad.
I disagree.
We're the Browns. We need a quarterback. We saw Dylan Gabriel. They didn't trust him to throw the ball 7 yards down the field. And yet, Shedeur Sanders isn't even getting a whiff. No, I'm assuming he's bad.
I disagree. I don't think that Kevin dislikes him the way that another show said. I don't think he dislikes him personally. I don't think that he's bad. Idea. I don't think I want to see where the Browns are at on, because I told you, when you lose this many games, it wears on my trust. So I want to be able to trust you and say that, okay.
If the Browns thought he was good, Kenny, he would be getting way more in the way of opportunities.
If the Browns thought he was ready, there's a difference in ready and good. We did this before with other quarterbacks.
Was Jackson Dart ready?
I think that they finally figured out that he was ready to go with the offense.
They kind of just threw him to the wolves. If you watch the way they're playing, they're not babying him. They're not babying him. He is allowed to do things that you would never allow a rookie quarterback to do.
Hey, but remember, let's go with what the NFL thinks and not what we think. The NFL thought that he was a first-round draft pick. The NFL thought that Shedeur was a fifth-round draft pick. No matter what any of us want to make up off the top of our heads.
We've debated that, yeah.
Okay, fine. But they thought he was a fifth-round draft pick. So they obviously are going to trust. The Giants are going to trust Jackson Dart before that the Browns trust, or anybody, trust Shedeur Sanders. That's the natural order of things. I don't think they think he's bad. I don't believe that he's bad. I just don't think he's not ready. I just think he's not ready.
If he isn't the backup quarterback this week in Pittsburgh, guys, they think he stinks.
Why would he?
They do.
No, why would you put him in a bad position?
Guys can play now. Guys have, especially with that kind of college experience
That's silly.
that Shedeur
That's
has.
silly.
Multiple teams. He started. He was under the microscope, under the lights, playing big games, national television, getting massive TV ratings.
You've learned nothing.
They are not giving him a whiff. And if he is backing up Bailey Zappi this week, the Browns think Shedeur stinks. They think he sucks.
You've learned nothing. You've learned absolutely nothing through this last near decade we've been together.
I guess not.
What did I say?
The desperate Browns are looking for anybody who can throw a football forward
in a cavalcade of morons.
Back and see a receiver and toss the
you
receiver. They can't. They don't believe he's good.
And you were the chief idiot, the lord of the idiots.
Just look at their behavior,
in the year that Deshaun Kaiser ended up playing for this football team because he was the best quarterback we had on the roster. And I kept saying, he's not the most ready. He's not the most ready. He's not the most ready.
We're still doing ready in 2025.
I'd rather go with my way than your way, just ruining guys' careers.
What is the Ken Carman way?
All the quarterbacks are out there. Listen
What's
to me.
the Ken Carman way? So you think Dylan Gabriel should be sitting right now to get more time?
He's more ready.
Oh, he's more ready to play. That's right. He's more ready
to play. Yes, it's that simple. It's that simple. He's more ready to play.
They had him behind Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, and those guys. You think one stinks and the other did stink?
They were more ready to play. I don't think that Kenny Pickett's ever good, but I think he was more ready to play than Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders.
Bo Nix was ready? Bo Nix had limited skills, and he was out there starting last year.
Again, first round.
You thought Shedeur was a first rounder. We both did. We both did.
And I'm going by what the NFL is saying. Okay. Have you not heard what I said over the last 5 seconds, or are you just waiting to talk?
The guy's going to back up Bailey Zappi this week. What does that tell you?
I don't want him to back up Bailey Zappi. I want to see him, but if he's not ready, he's not ready. And I have to try to, as much as I don't want to, because they're 1-4 and they don't score over 20 points for 10 straight games and 18 of the last 22 or whatever you lose count. I don't want to trust Kevin Stefanski, but I have to say, well, they must be thinking that he's not ready to play. Not that he sucks. Not that he's bad.
There were a lot of people that thought last year. There were guys on record that thought that Shedeur Sanders was had a better profile than Jackson Dart last year. And Jackson Dart is out there on national television against the defending Super Bowl champs, and they did not baby him. Watch that offense. That was not dink and dunk last night with the Giants. That was go out there, young man, and play football and trust your instincts. And yeah, it almost got him killed because he almost got knocked out. He did get knocked out of the game. But man, they did not baby him the way the Browns babied Dylan Gabriel. And we are talking about Shedeur, who might back up Bailey Zappi this weekend.
Well, they babied Dylan Gabriel because he's a third-round pick. Again, were any of the people, as I try to start this sentence the third time, it's like role reversal day where you just keep cutting me off, and I'm the one not screaming right now.
Ask the fans. Ask the fans.
I'm going to go to them here in a second. We're not even going to get a chance to do about last night for a second, but we have to because I got to get that investigation going. I just want to ask a simple question before I go to a call. Were any of the people that you said were on the record, were any of them current NFL scouts? Nope. 216-474-0092.
I don't know what the scouts said. Hold on.
It was all media people.
That's different. The GMs. Was all media people. You said GMs. You're right. Yeah, he went in the 5th round.
It was all media people. The NFL, the guys who are still NFL scouts and the guys who are still NFL GMs, as mad as you want to be, as mad as I wanted to be, we're media guys. We don't see it the way they see it. We might have said he was a first-round guy. He went in the 5th for a cavalcade of reasons that we will never really know.
Me and you both.
Then why are you saying that he's bad instead of maybe he's not ready?
We both thought he was going first round.
Yeah, and we were both wrong, as well as all the other people, including the guy who was crying during the draft on TV. Vito in Youngstown. Yellow.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hi.
I just don't, eventually, Shedeur is going to get his shot this year. Eventually. And when he, like you said before, when he is ready. Apparently, he's just not ready. I know Stefanski doesn't want to make a mistake again throwing a quarterback out there who's not ready, look terrible, and then they have to pull him again for another quarterback. Lima wanted to bring up, Jackson Dart was just thrown out to the Wolves. Jackson Dart didn't have a quarterback drafted before him in last year's draft. Shedeur was drafted 5th. Dylan was drafted 3rd. Dylan's obviously looked better in camp.
So there's some people that disagreed with that.
I mean, Daryl.
People said he was terrible in camp.
I know Daryl will say he's never been wrong, but Daryl's been wrong plenty.
Actually, every reporter that was there said he was terrible in camp.
Thank you for the call. Okay, well, Zach was wrong too, I guess. Zach was wrong too. Or maybe he'll be right. But I think it's irresponsible to say that you just think he's bad. He might not be ready. You have to wait until you see him
It's my assumption he's bad until the Browns' behavior is anything different than what it is right now.
216-474-0092. This, and we got to get to the bottom of a very serious investigation about your children this coming summer. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. We are saving your children's summer in 5 on the Fan.
Anthony Lima 4.
radio home of the Cleveland Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0, no one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Tell it to me, young man. Tell it to me now.
We're just a couple days away from the Browns taking on the Steelers over in Pittsburgh, which you'll be able to listen to here on 92.3 The Fan, the Browns radio network. We had some updates yesterday over at 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh yesterday. Jeff Hathorn giving some updates on what could be of the Steelers' defensive unit.
I feel good about Highsmith playing. Porter, I don't think is even a question. Same with Jalen Warren. I think both of those are back. As for Ramsey and Austin, Tomlin said there's that last-minute hope that they could perk up at the end of the week. Well, there have to be a hell of a lot of perking because I don't know that it looks too good for either of those guys.
Two pieces of the Steelers' defense that may not be available on Sunday.
That would be nice.
Owen and I have done a hell of a lot of perking in our day.
Well, if they have a specific set, will it be called the Perkins set?
Do you think it matters that it's even though it's supposed to be a rivalry game, it's the Browns in division? Would it matter if it were like the Eagles? Like, would those guys play if it were a bigger game as opposed to just a 1:00 game against a 1-4 Browns team?
I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking about perks. What was your thought again? What did you say?
Whether or not these guys, like, if they were on the fence about playing, whether if it were a bigger game, nationally televised, Sunday Night Football.
Well, that's because you took my question away from me. You just asked it a different way. Do any of us believe that that's going to make a difference in this football game around the room? No Jalen Ramsey, no Calvin Austin.
No, not that.
Owen?
Highsmith, maybe.
I don't think so either, but I'll answer your question with a question. If the Steelers weren't clearly in the driver's seat of the AFC North right now, would these guys be playing? I mean, it's the Steelers
you
division.
Think you know the answer. Right, Owen changes the question. I think that if they weren't, I think they would.
It's our Jake Roberts question of the day.
Yeah. If they were, or they are, and I don't think they will. So none of us really think so. Again, it
doesn't matter.
The challenge is laid to the Browns. Look, listen to how we feel about this game coming up. It's on them. It is on them. It's on Kevin. It's on this team. You guys call it a leadership council. Okay, go out and be leaders. Lead your team. It's got to start in-house.
Ken, you laid down the challenge earlier. I hope they step up to it.
What if they give themselves a rah-rah speech and go, Ken doesn't believe in us, guys. Once we've lost Ken, we've lost Browns fans.
Hey, maybe at 8 o'clock we'll hear Carman's version of a rah-rah speech.
Great. This is going to be awesome.
Do they actually have a bulletin board? Have we checked in on that? You've been in that.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't?
No,
should it be one giant?
There's a big video screen.
Make the whole locker room out a bulletin board.
It should be.
No, there's like a big video screen, and then there's like one wall where there's like 3 big video screens, and it shows like, here's how you hydrate, and then here's the schedule for the day,
those.
and this, that, and the other. That's what they have.
It should be bulletin board, thumbtacks.
Yeah.
That's it.
It should just
put it up.
Show the video of Lima and I screaming at each other about Shedeur Sanders, and then going, well, we have to talk about Shedeur because no one thinks you guys are going to win. That'd be hell of a bulletin board material or video board material. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, but the next thing we have here on the docket is we have an update from yesterday. Banana Ball, guys, is coming back to the city of Cleveland. Sort of. It's not going to be the Savannah Bananas that we're getting at Progressive Field, which I believe we had, a year or two ago? We will see a world tour of teams, or a countrywide tour throughout the next couple of months. On September 25th and 26th, the Party Animals are scheduled to face off against the Firefighters. So they will be playing Banana Ball, but it won't be those two specific teams.
No. This is like Elvis impersonators.
That's also incorrect. The Party Animals are playing the Indianapolis Clowns, according to the Banana Ball website.
So we have a clown show going on in Cleveland?
We do.
What
I'm used to it.
What about the Firefighters?
The Firefighters will be in Biloxi, Mississippi, playing against a team that looks like a coconut with its hat back.
Here's what I don't get. We couldn't get Taylor Swift, okay, but we're missing all these big time, personalities and performers, and yet we still can't even get the Bananas. We're not big enough for the bananas.
They had the bananas a few years ago.
Right now, I'm saying, why are we not getting the bananas now? They had a whole TV special yesterday to unveil the schedule.
I'm watching it right now. It's 2.5 hours long.
All I know is I'm not taking my kids to see non-bananas.
Yeah, imposters.
The Savannah Bananas that same night will be in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field, taking on a coal mine.
When my daughter looks me in the eyes and says, "Daddy, can you get me Savannah Banana tickets?" And I say,
"Wait a minute.
Well, you can get what are they? The Crime Stoppers? Who are they?
Yes.
Who are we getting?
You're getting
the party animals.
The party animals.
The Scruff McGruffs are taking on the firefighters.
You just got to call Chicago, Illinois.
Think about this is
345.
This is genius for the Savannah Bananas. They're doing spin-offs, and it's all just dance teams. That's all these are, dance teams with mitts.
Yeah. The neighbor kids.
And former strippers.
The neighbor kid. Beg pardon.
Have you seen them?
We got some Chippendales over there.
Chip and Dale are definitely first and second base.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
I don't know who's on third.
Sexy. The neighbor kids, the kids in the neighborhood, they have all seen the bananas in like Pittsburgh and D.C. Axel doesn't really care about baseball, neither do my other two, really. Maybe that's on me as a father. They'll go see the Guardians. They are not going to go see the non-bananas. The kids will just make fun of them for not seeing the non-bananas, won't they?
I wanted to get Toby Tom Amansky videos for Christmas. We are enrolling him in Mrs. Natalie's Dance Academy.
There you go.
to get them on their way.
He can play banana ball.
Well, what's the chances you're going to make it to the big show? Not very high. What's the chances you can make it to one of the teams that the Savannah Bananas play at?
Kenny.
Probably still not high, but considerably higher than Major League Baseball.
I'm telling you right now, I had an easier time getting MLB All-Star tickets, NBA Finals tickets, NBA All-Star tickets than getting the Savannah Bananas. No, all the people that you look to for the hookups or the favors, they're like, no, absolutely not. We are not. I've got other people to help out here. My own family.
I put in for the raffle, did not get it, and then the night before, the Bananas emailed me and said, "Oh, you're in luck. We got some tickets. $150 to set in the 500." Wasn't happening.
That's crazy.
And you have to clean up all the banana peels.
That's
after.
Crazy.
Actually, bring your own banana peel night.
Don't slip.
That is it for About Last Night, I take it?
It is.
All right, let's get to Herb. Let's take another call. Herb in Cleveland. I know you'll reset us. Go ahead, Herb.
Fellas, how y'all feeling?
We're doing wonderful, Herb. Go right on ahead.
All right. Man, long time listener, spot caller.
Okay.
I
He's
feel
in
like
spot
we just shake it up, man.
Shake it up?
Yeah, last time I called, we talked about Deshaun Watson. I said if he would have did what they said he did in the state of Texas, it'd have gave him 100 years. But
Herb, did you see his video? Did you see the video he put out yesterday?
Yeah. You know what? He need to be our star. He need to be our backup quarterback until he retires for free. We done gave him so much money. He need to be here for free for the next 10 years. What I'm saying is, let's just shake it up. Fire Stefanski, fire Barry. They both got good names for themselves. They'll get a job immediately before the preseason even start. Hire Primetime. Let Shador be the starter, man. Give it to the next 10 years.
I'll be honest. Is Dion?
I got to tell you, Herb, that's not shaking it up. But we've had many people have that opinion.
I feel bad about his health, man. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to make it through this year.
Some people are making jokes in the YouTube chat. I'm like, don't do that. Come on.
No, dude is like got like you could tell.
And yet, if he comes to the Cleveland Browns, free trips to UH every day if he wants them.
Let's get Colorado on the right track first. Hopefully not this week, but after that, let's get them
Iowa
on the
State.
right track. Well, yeah, but the worse they do at Colorado, it just go against Coach Prime. You understand how that works. I don't know. I could see this being the final few games for him. The rest of the season for him as a coach. I mean, that's a taxing job. He would have it was impossible to leave that program in a worse place than he found it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he called it a time at Colorado after this year. 216-474-0092. Not 820, the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder coming on. Mr. Right about everything. The Browns draft was great, but will it be messed up because they didn't take a certain somebody? Speaking of that certain somebody, Jackson Dart is far more valuable to me this winter than right now. You guys are nuts. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima on the Fan. Tom Merriman and Merriman Legal. Make that call today. 216-522-9000. That's 216-522-9000. MerrimanLegal.com. Folks, I don't want you to have to make that call today. I don't want you to do it. But I'm telling you, if you were hurt in a car, if you were hurt in an accident, or you're hurt on the job recently, you need to have somebody who's going to test. You need to have somebody who's going to dig, investigate, find the best for you. That's Tom Merriman and Merriman Legal, friends. I know him. I love him. Tom's the best. He's a Clevelander fighting for Clevelanders. There are so many times in your life
Let's see what we have in Dylan Gabriel, who we like. Let's see what we have in Shador. Let's determine whether these guys are starters, number 2s, number 3s, or shouldn't be in the NFL. And then we will go ahead and draft our quarterback of the future in the 2026 NFL draft, which is why we traded down.
Catch Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker on Afternoon Drive every Wednesday at 4. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
I'll lay the challenge down right now because it's going to take guts to go over there and beat them. You're going to have to ask more because you don't have the horses to just go out there and beat them. You might have a couple of good diamonds in the rough right there, but you ain't got the horses. So you got a football team that has finished around 9-8 over the last how many years? That has really just existed over the last how many years with Mike Tomlin. Don't think there's not a chance to go out there and beat them. There's a chance to do it. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction and not having Joe there? That's fine. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction and not having Greg Newsome there of all the conversation that's been going around this week about everything that's not the Pittsburgh Steelers? Are you going to be able to compartmentalize that and go beat them? I don't think you can. The challenge is out there. Stop doing these things.
Oh, that wasn't me.
That's amazing. Put it on the bulletin board. Let's go.
That was in between chest press and butterfly rows.
Guys, I was raised by one of the great motivational speakers of all time, the great Keith Wakefield. And I can do him any way you want me to. That one was actually genuine. The other one, you wanted me to act for it. This one, I didn't even mean for it to be that way. Damn it! Oh, hey, it's up to them.
Are you getting the tinglies?
Stop playing the music behind.
Are you starting to realize it is Steelers week? We're almost there.
Nobody is.
The hated Pittsburgh Steelers.
We got Daryl coming up at 8:20.
T.J. Watt.
God, I hate you.
Bill Cowher, the chin.
Challenge is out there.
Turkey Jones.
Are you done? Are you finished?
Tommy Maddox.
No, he's not. He's still going.
Should have won that game.
He's still going.
Remember, Foch Fazio used to listen to this show.
Foch Fazio used to listen to this show.
Punch Ilkin did too.
Ilkin and Barrasso. Yeah, good. Did you see? Now they're on YouTube Live.
Oh, no way.
They got massive ratings.
You gotta stop. You knock it off. You make me have to tell. You make me have to tell a story every time.
Foch Fazio passed away at 71.
I know he did.
In 2009.
Yeah, I know.
I thought he used to listen to our show.
No, he did not listen to the show. It's Al Saunders who, I don't know if he still does.
I've seen Al Saunders.
And you are no Al Saunders.
You are no Al Saunders, my friend.
Damn it. I'm going to a call now. Donald in Cleveland, get me out of this, please. Thank you.
How are you doing, guys?
Hi, same to you.
So look, I'm trying to figure out what history do we have to actually think that Stefanski knows what he's doing with quarterbacks?
Well, not very much.
So why would we believe that what he's saying about Shador is true, that he's not ready?
Well, the thing is he's not saying much about anything about Shador. He just says that he's working hard and going day to day. It's all of us talking about Shador Sanders.
Yeah, Tommy Reese also yesterday said he's doing all the right things. That's the message. But then when they leak reports out to the national reporters, it's like, oh my God, there's this huge chasm between him and everybody else.
Who are you saying is leaking report? Who's getting?
Every time the guys that are pretty plugged into the Browns, whether it's Ian Rappaport, whether it's Albert Breer, they talk about this gap that exists. Well, where's that coming from? Maybe it's the players. Maybe they've got existing players, but they're not making it up out of thin air.
Go ahead there, Donald.
So, but then another thing I want to say about, I hear everybody talking about the preseason, how bad Shador played in preseason, right? He played 2 games, correct?
Yeah.
They act like Dylan Gabriel played 1 game. He played 2 games, correct, too. In the first game, I saw a pick six. I saw him look terrible. Nobody ever talks about that. Like it doesn't happen. Like it didn't happen. Am I right or wrong?
I guess. I don't know where you're going with that one, though. What are we talking about the
They
preseason
say, why are we
for?
mentioning Shador's preseason but not Dylan Gabriel's
I didn't
preseason?
mention Shador's preseason myself, to be honest with you, so I don't know where that one's coming from, Don. Don, I'm not in a good mood. They're using my own words against me right now, as they tend to do. So I wish I met you in a better mood.
Donald, do you wish we had...
Do you want to motivate the Browns this week in Pittsburgh?
Go ahead. Play the music. Get them going. Go ahead, Donald.
Look, I just want a football team and a coach that know how to get his players in the right position. I'm watching the coaches at a mediocre offense for 5 or 6 years now, and it's time for him to go.
Wait a minute. That wasn't a motivational speech.
Yeah, it was a motivational speech for Jimmy Hassel. Get his ass out of here, Jimmy.
He said it's time for him to go. Guys, we're playing the Steelers on Sunday. All right, you want to make motivational speeches, go right on ahead. 216
it's Steelers week.
474-0092. Marcus in Parma. Marcus, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing
Love
well,
you
Marcus.
guys.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. So everybody keeps saying that Shador is not ready, and I'm trying to figure out because he's been here for 6 years, and no quarterback has been nobody's been good under him besides Baker Mayfield, and he didn't draft him, he didn't pick him, and I'm trying to figure out how can y'all tell that he's
Steelers week? Come on, let's go! Let's go!
I'm trying to figure out how Shador sucks so bad.
He doesn't stink. That's not you guys. It's Lima who said it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Marcus, thank you for the call. Turn up the music. I didn't say it was bad. I said he was good. I still think he should probably be the emergency quarterback. I don't want to just throw him out there to the wolves,
And
but
this
still.
weekend in Pittsburgh, when Dylan Gabriel exits with a hamstring injury, Bailey Zappi to the rescue, the backup quarterback on Sunday against the Steelers. Zappi back to pass, looks and oh, he's picked off. 31-3, Pittsburgh.
They just want to call in and rip Stefanski. They don't even want to give a motivational speech. I didn't even mean to make.
Well, you've got to. You can do both, but you have to do one for
I
sure.
meant to be mean-spirited. Not even mean-spirited. I don't think you're gonna do it. I don't think you're gonna do it. You've had a week of distraction. How good is this team with distractions? Terrible. Absolutely horrific. How good is this team with any? You're making trades on a Wednesday. How good is this team for preparing for the future? Great. How good is this team with cap space? Excellent. How good is this team for playing on Sunday? Not too terribly wonderful, guys. Not too great. Well, here's the challenge for you. Go right on out there. You want me to shut up about your chess and checkers and 4D chess? Go out there and win. You're tired of us talking about Shador Sanders and what Ryan Clark and Mina Kimes and Luke McCown are saying about him, what Skip Bayless is saying about him? Go out there and beat him. Or if you're not, go out there and lay down like you've done many times before. Yeah, we don't have Greg Newsome. Yeah, we have Tyson Campbell. No, don't look at his mentions on social media from Jaguars fans. Damn it, we got a chance. Are you with me, Cleveland? No, they're not.
It's rivalry week.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I heard they're going to do a 21st anniversary celebration of Big Ben getting drafted. Ken, doesn't that fire you up?
No, they didn't steal our team from us.
Oh, that's right.
You guys want to sit here and talk about Jackson Dart?
This isn't
going to fire up the music for that.
This music's not going to get us flagged, right? Like, this is fair use?
It came from the boss.
It better be fair use. Because this is not bad.
Oh, wait a second here.
Uh-oh.
I think we have to go back to the phones.
No,
Kevin.
well, I'm going to Sam in Akron. Hello, Sam. What do you got?
So I have a theory. Maybe they're not playing Shador because they are throwing the season. And if he's your best shot, what's the point of putting your best player out there and ruining that chances?
Well, what are the odds, Sam? You're getting pulled over by the police, and we're giving you motivational music to talk to law enforcement.
What was the sirens in the background, Sam? Are you okay?
Yeah, there was an accident about a mile back.
Oh, I hope
did you
cause it?
You fleed.
I hope it's okay.
Yeah, it looked okay. It just looked like someone ran off the road.
Sam, thank you very much for the call.
Yeah, I ran someone off the road. It looked like that back there.
No. Kevin in Cleveland, hello. Kevin, hello.
Come on.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing? I've got myself a speech.
All right, let's go.
Hold on.
Waiting for my music here. Gentlemen, Steelers week. It's on Sunday. Did we lose? No. Maybe. We probably will lose because we are 1-4. But it's not going to matter this time because we didn't quit when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. We are not going to quit when we lose on Sunday. We got this. It's the Browns versus the Steelers. Let's get a W or a tie or most likely a loss. But it doesn't matter because we are going to win or lose.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Find that.
Hell no!
I'm good at my job.
Forget it, he's rolling.
Can't say we can't have fun with a 1-4 football team. It's not
Great
impossible.
to hear Daryl Ryder's motivational speech.
Oh,
now.
yeah, it's great. Dylan Gabriel wasn't as good as the ball boys. Dylan Gabriel wasn't as good as the garbage men. Dylan Gabriel wasn't as good as the contractors.
It doesn't matter who starts. They're going to lose anyway.
Knock it off. Not in the mood for that today.
Coming up next, the Browns draft was great, but will it be messed up because the Browns didn't take Jackson Dart? I'm sure Daryl said we should have been taking him from day one. Mr. Right, who's never wrong, is coming up next on The Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for
right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
I'll lay the challenge down right now because it's going to take guts to go over there and beat them. You're going to have to ask more because you don't have the horses to just go out there and beat them. You might have a couple of good diamonds in the rough right there, but you ain't got the horses. So you got a football team that has finished around 9-8 over the last how many years? That has really just existed over the last how many years with Mike Tomlin. Don't think there's not a chance to go out there and beat him. There's a chance to do it. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction and not having Joe there? That's fine. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction and not having Greg Newsome there? Of all the conversation that's been going around this week about everything that's not the Pittsburgh Steelers, are you going to be able to compartmentalize that and go beat them? I don't think you can. The challenge is out there. It's pretty good. Second time I heard it, pretty good. I think we can power rank the motivational speeches. Number 1, Al Pacino, Any Given Sunday. Number 2, that one. Number 3, Lou Brown, Major League, when they got ready to take the field against the Yankees. Here we go. Top 3. Let's bring in Daryl. Hi, Daryl.
Hello, boys.
Daryl, the Browns, what do you grade the Browns' current draft class right now? Right off the top of your head, go.
A.
Will it be messed up because they didn't draft Jackson Dart?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a tough one.
I wanted you to say no. God.
Yeah, I know, but I got to think. The most important positions the franchise quarterback can.
You think?
I'm
sorry. I'm not mad at you. I'm not.
If they missed it again, ooh, I'm going to say no. Just because they got 4 studs right off the rip there. So I'll say no.
Okay. Lima, take it away.
Well, what did you think of that performance last night? Not only that, they have Scadaboo, they have Abdul Carter, who I noted has not really done much in the way of the big accounting stats, and then people threw in my face his pressures. He's leading all the rookies in pressures.
Yeah.
So, there have been a lot. I'll tell you, there's a lot more good rookies in a class that was supposedly not supposed to be all that good. In the end, I mean, do you think Jackson Dart is going to be a franchise QB? Is he already better than you thought he was?
Well, I mean, it's New York, and it's the Giants, so let's not put the cart before the horse. We've done this here in Cleveland after a good performance by a quarterback. We've been ready to anoint them the franchise savior, so I'm not willing to go that far. But look, it was impressive. My fantasy football team did not appreciate him carving up that Eagles defense. That's for sure. But it was fun to watch, no question about it. And it certainly gives Giants fans some hope as they wake up this morning, even with their football team still below 500. But again, I'm not ready to anoint him the savior of the New York Football Giants just yet. He needs to do it on a consistent basis.
Thank you very much. Daryl Ryder, brought to you by Scheibman Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. You can watch him on YouTube Live, 92.3 The Fan, where behind him is a vast array of bobbleheads up against a brick accent wall. It looks absolutely fantastic. Daryl, it's been a trying week for this football team. Do you think they got what it is? Do you think they have it in them to put the distractions away and go over to Pittsburgh and get the first regular season win in Pittsburgh since 2003?
Well, history would tell you no, but you certainly hope so. They've said all the right things this week, so let's give them their just due there, their props for that. But I certainly have my doubts. Is it
because of the whole thing where you said that they weren't going to win the playoff game and then you don't want to get ripped on the internet? It would be fine. I'm fine with that. That's okay. I always felt bad about making a big deal. That was one of the lowlights of my career. I mean that sincerely.
I got death threats for that.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Didn't like that. Me and Lime were like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, that was a little too much there. But Daryl,
I have not been on Pony's show since. I have not answered. They have called many a time. I have not answered the phone. I learned my lesson.
He's a trash hog of monumental proportions, and we don't need to even discuss him. But like Daryl, I said it, like you don't. I don't think that he is a motivating head coach. I don't think that they have the type of motivators or leadership that they need in the locker room right now. I've been a critic of their culture for a long time. Nice guys, right. Good guys. Maybe defensively they might be halfway there, but they just don't have the leadership in the right spots, especially on offense. And where you traded away a starter. I know that he was people. I don't want to overrate him. He was a good player. He was having a good season. I know that a lot of people are like, this, that, and the other. You still traded away a starter on a good defense on the Wednesday night before the game. Your own front office is telling you what they think of this year then.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for them to compartmentalize and go and win that football game. And they haven't in the past, and why would I think that they could do it right now?
Well, the other part of that, too, to be fair about what the Browns did do this week, okay, they traded a quarterback they benched. And probably we're not going to play again this year, albeit to a division rival, but they know what's there, right? And then they swapped a starter that they were not going to pay. They were not going to pay Greg Newsome $16, $17, $18, $20 million a year. That just was never going to happen. And they traded him for a player that is now under team control for the next couple of years through 2028, at about $15, $16 million a year. So this was not, in my view, Ken, a situation where it should be a distraction to this team. It's a distraction to this team if they traded Greg Newsome for draft picks. And that's all they got in return. Then you can make the argument of, well, they're raising the white flag on the season. This is a fire sale. They're tanking. They're giving up on the season, et cetera, et cetera. No, they traded one starter for another starter whom they feel like is going to come in here and be a fit defensively. Now, when you look at how Tyson Campbell has been playing this year, statistically, it doesn't look good, right? You hope he's able to recapture what got him that 4-year, $75+ million contract.
And that would still be a plan for the future. So you can't say it's like a one-on-one.
But it's a plan for today, Ken, because he's 25 years old and he's been in the league for 4 years.
Yeah,
so
but if you're trying to get him back on track, I mean, that's a whole thing for the future. I don't think he's going to go out there. I don't even know if he's going to play on Sunday, and I don't think he's going to go out there and be fantastic right off the rip, is he?
Well, Jim Schwartz told us he's starting Sunday. Or he expects him to start Sunday.
Okay. All right. Well.
I'm just, don't shoot the messenger.
Hey, might as well. That's fine. Absolutely fine. I wasn't mad at you.
I mean,
I'm not mad at him.
I can only go by what Jim Schwartz. We asked Jim yesterday. He said, "Yeah, we've played players with less time here before in the NFL. So yeah, they're going to start him. They expect to start him. Anything can happen between now and Sunday, but they expect to start him. And again, this is a player that they expect to be a piece of this football team for the next 3-4 years.
Okay.
All right, Daryl, can you say the same about this week's backup quarterback, Bailey Zappi?
Well, no, I can't say that.
Is he the backup, Daryl?
You know what?
Yes.
I think so. And here's why. And I've talked about this on my YouTube Brownie Bites, and I mentioned this on a couple other shows. Strategically, right now, it makes sense. Because you buy a few more weeks with Shedeur Sanders and developing him and keeping him the emergency quarterback. The emergency quarterback has to be on the active 53. That's a league rule. Shedeur is. Bailey Zappi is not. So you can't make Bailey the emergency quarterback unless you sign him to the 53. Well, roster management 101 here. We saw this a couple years ago when they signed Joe Flacco to the practice squad. They elevated him a couple of times to start games for the Browns. And then before, they ran out of those options and ultimately put him on the 53. They can do the same thing with Bailey Zappi here for a couple of weeks. So I think strategically, it makes sense to have Bailey Zappi be the backup quarterback from a roster management standpoint, as well as from let's buy Shedeur Sanders a couple of more weeks, really work on that development behind the scenes, getting him ready to be the backup, because I am convinced with a stretch of 5 home games in 7 weeks late in the season, we're going to see Shedeur Sanders because I think that the Browns want to give fans reasons to still come to the stadium because let's be honest about it, come late November and December, the Browns aren't going to give you many reasons to want to go to their games because they're not going to be in contention.
Is there any part of you that agrees with Jason Lloyd where his thought was if we're not going to make him the backup, might as well just get rid of him, let's just end this?
No, I think that the Browns are handling this for once. I think they're handling this rather maturely with Shedeur. They're trying to bring him along. And look, you're talking to somebody who has ripped them to shreds over the years for rushing quarterbacks to the field and for not getting anything out of young quarterbacks. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and rip them because they're not rushing this guy to the field. Yes, you want to see him. I want to see him. Anthony wants to see him. The national media wants. Everyone wants to see Shedeur Sanders. I get it. He means a lot of money for a lot of people potentially, a lot of engagement for a lot of people. But I am willing to give the Browns an opportunity here to do this the right way, bring him along slowly. He's a 5th-round pick. It's not like they're holding back their 1st-round pick. The Green Bay Packers, oh, by the way, they have sacked quarterbacks for 2 and 3 years. And it seems to work out well for them. So I'm not going to kill the Browns because we're sitting here in week 6 and Shedeur Sanders might not be ready to be the backup quarterback.
Well, get a load of this. Daryl Lima says he's to assume that Shedeur Sanders just isn't good.
Yeah,
because
Daryl,
he's not the backup.
I'm sorry if you missed it earlier today.
Yeah, get a load of that.
I'm assuming he's not good because for him not to even be the backup, we're not talking about like getting the game plan ready to be the starter and put the whole team on your back. We're not even asking that. We're just saying, can he just be ready to be a backup quarterback?
Well, where's he not good though?
Thank you.
He's just not a good quarterback? Is it he doesn't know the playbook? Is it he's not mature enough? I'm asking you
all of the above.
Why
Daryl,
are you saying he's not good enough yet?
Because a desperate team like the Browns, who are always turning over every stone for a quarterback, they are electing to go with Bailey Zappi this week. If that is the case, that tells me that he stinks, that he's not good.
Yeah, but desperate teams led you to Deshaun Watson. Desperate teams led you to moving off Baker. Desperate teams led you to making a myriad of awful quarterback decisions, like bringing in Johnny freaking Manziel. Like you.
Okay, so you don't trust the Browns. I get it. That's what I'm saying.
No,
so
I'm saying you can't make impulsive decisions though right now.
Why is that impulsive?
To be patient.
If they're watching them every day, what are they seeing? What are they seeing?
I don't know because they're not telling us what they're seeing. They're giving us lip service, quite frankly, about it. All we hear about is he's doing the right things and he's developing and he's coming along, whether it's coming from Tommy Rees yesterday, whether it's coming from Kevin Stefanski. Look.
Their behavior is not matching those lines, though, right?
Yeah,
because if he was doing everything he could and he was flashing,
he was a 5th-round pick.
And showing
he's a
off,
5th-round pick.
Sure. Fine.
Why are we racing to put a 5th-round pick on the field? Let me ask you this: if Dylan Gabriel, hang on, if let's flip the script here. If it was Dylan Gabriel that was the 5th-round pick, are you sitting here this morning clamoring for him to be the backup quarterback?
I saw Gardner Minshew start 14 games as a 6th-round rookie.
He's bad too.
I saw Brock Purdy as a last pick of the draft. I saw him start a bunch of games his rookie year. What is this really saying about Shedeur? That he can't handle a backup role? We're not even talking about starting, Daryl. We're talking about a backup. Bailey Zappi is going to be the guy. He flew into Cleveland 3 weeks ago, and he's gonna be the guy next to start a Browns game ahead of Shedeur if there's an injury.
You don't have to yell.
I'm sorry. I can't get on the Browns for trying to ease in a young player and protect the young player and
to be the
bring them along
backup. Come on,
slowly.
Daryl. What are we talking about?
Guess what? I got news for you, Anthony. If he's the backup, he's a play away. Do you really want Shedeur Sanders there? I don't like the fact that Dylan Gabriel's starting in Pittsburgh.
Lyman wants to set him up for failure. Then.
Absolutely. That's 100% what he wants.
That's what you want. You want to set him up for failure.
It's 2025. Guys have never played so much college football in their lives. He played in 50 games in college.
Right. That's still college football. That's not the NFL.
What did Dylan Gabriel do? Why did Dylan Gabriel get to go? Because he was a well-heralded 3rd-round selection? What are we talking about?
He played against better competition than Shedeur Sanders did. Sure as hell.
He did. His team was stacked, yes, but yeah, he did. Who has a higher ceiling? Ken, who has a higher ceiling?
Oh, I would like to say that Shedeur does.
He can't play in front of Bailey Zappi, apparently.
It doesn't matter about ceiling. It matters about who's ready. There's a difference between not good and not ready.
So this is a total project.
Do you want Shedeur Sanders to accidentally come in and win some games for you, Anthony, that maybe you don't want to win?
No, that's what I'm saying. What are we worried about here?
Daryl, I love you.
Your point is well taken.
Daryl,
I'm just teasing you, Lima.
I agree with you. I thought I was going to rip you earlier. I don't remember what for. I got to tell you.
I'm sure the list is long yet distinguished.
I have never seen a team be so protective of the backup role.
It's cheap and petty.
This is an all-timer. We're talking about, Aaron Rodgers.
They're not being protective of a role.
Jordan
They're being
Love
protective
sat.
of a young player
I'm
who
pretty
is
sure they would have been ahead of Bailey Zappi.
He's being asked to do a lot of stuff right now in that building that he's never been asked to do in his entire football career. I have no issue with them bringing this kid along slowly so that when he does take the field, he'll be prepared, he'll be ready, and he'll hopefully play well. And guess what? You guys will be talking about him the way you're talking about that Giants rookie quarterback who lit the Philadelphia Eagles on fire last night.
I will tell you what the Browns' goal is with Shedeur Sanders after this break. Daryl, thank you very much for the call.
Enjoy the loss Sunday, guys.
Oh, come on.
Daryl, you bastard.
Hold on, Daryl. Say it again. Give me a little more of a prediction here.
Don't. We did it once with him. Oh, okay. We can do that then.
Go ahead, Daryl. What do you expect on Sunday?
Pain. I'm expecting pain in Pittsburgh because, it's been 21 years of it in the regular season. Why should things change
Did
now?
the playoff game not happen?
Well, there was nobody there. It was friends and family night.
No, it counts. Trust me.
Of course it counts, but I'm talking regular season.
I was setting things on fire with my son, holding
You lit a
gas
couch on
cans,
fire,
set his
Ken.
kids on
smashed. It was great. All right, Daryl. See you in hell.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Daryl Ryder brought to you by Shivan Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. I will tell you what the Browns' goal is. The goal of what they want you to say about them with Shedeur Sanders in 5 minutes. I want to know who's right and who's wrong. Do you agree with Daryl and I? Daryl and I have joined forces. Do you agree with Daryl and I, or do you agree with Anthony? 216-474-0092. Tone Master General Ken Carman, fat and thin in the morning on the Fan.
Anthony Lima.
loan today. Visit psecreditunion.org. That's psecreditunion.org.
When there's news that affects the Cleveland sports fan, Daryl Ryder is on top of every headline. Listen to his reports on the station with the most local sports talk in town. 92.3 The Fan, powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Want to talk Browns while you're at work? Baskin and Phelps, weekdays starting at 10 on 92.3 The Fan.
You want to know what the goal of the Browns is with Shedeur this year? I'm going to tell you in moments, but first, we're surfsiding with the Cavs. Hit it.
Your Surfside Cavs update brought to you by who else? But Surfside, Kenny, the Cavs. They're 0-2 in the preseason. Are you concerned? Not really, but a couple things that stood out to me from yesterday's game in Chicago. DeAndre Hunter in the starting role has looked like he has belonged. I know people roll their eyes. It's preseason. Didn't look that different to me than the first half didn't look that different to me than an actual regular season game. Because remember, they don't play as many preseason games as they used to.
They play like 4 this year.
Yeah, but Donovan Mitchell
How many
played.
They used to play like a dozen back then.
Yeah, they would play a ton. But DeAndre Hunter has looked like he belonged. And something that we'll be monitoring all year. We have our themes, right? Because people are telling me, it's regular season, doesn't matter. Just wake me up when the playoffs start. No, there are things that you should pay attention to. I talked the other day about the young guys, especially with Max Strus and Darius Garland starting the season not in the lineup. Strus is going to be out a long time, obviously. But I said, pay attention to, Tyrese Proctor. Let's see if he can run the show a little bit. But also Jalen Tyson. But one other thing as a theme. Evan Mobley making the leap. It seems like he's always making pretty big jumps. Is he going to make the leap?
We're only halfway through preseason here, but he needs to. We need him to make the leap.
Kenny got to the free throw line 10 times last night.
Okay, that's a good start.
That is something to pay attention to, because it's one thing if he's just,
that's a damn good
doing
start,
his
young
rim
man.
running or getting those 7-foot shots off.
I love the term. Never mind.
Can he get to the foul line? That is what superstars in this league do. They get to the foul line.
I'm going to have to dump myself. If you get into the foul line 10 times in a preseason game, I know it changes, but that's at least a good start.
In 26 minutes.
And that is
your Cavs Surfside update brought to you by Surfside.
Outstanding as always. So we got Nathan coming up here in 12 minutes, and I want to ask Nathan, is Jerry Jeudy flirting with a lost season? Also, we have coming in hot at 9:43. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. You want to know what the goal of the Browns is this year with Shedeur? The goal of the Browns, if they do their job correctly, the goal of the Browns is to have you, because you have been killing them this morning. Well, you've been saying that you're just to assume that Shedeur is bad. Now, get that clear. You don't think Shedeur is bad, do you?
I didn't think. No, I liked Shedeur coming out of college.
You said you should assume he's bad because Bailey Zappi's going to probably be the backup on Sunday.
At this point,
I imagine they'll name him after all media availability today, that he'll be the backup coming up tomorrow or Sunday.
But it's been their plan all week, right?
I think so. I think so. We might be shocked. Who knows?
That would be a nice surprise. That would tell me something.
Nice.
By the way, I'll put it on record right now. If Shedeur is the backup today, then that will show me that he has made the strides.
Well, I think there's a difference between not good and not ready. And I think that there's guys who are good and they're not ready to even be backups in the league. And I know you've given me all these different examples of it. Listen, I think that I can meet you at least part of the way and say he was not ready to be an NFL quarterback coming out of the draft. And I have to go by what the NFL did because he was a 5th-round pick. This is the goal of the Browns this year with Shedeur. The goal of the Browns with Shedeur is to have guys like us, media, everybody, say that the Browns wasted their time with the other guys who played for this team, and they should have just started Shedeur Sanders. Because that will have meant that they have prepared Shedeur correctly within a new offense, because the offense will have to change. They've prepared Shedeur correctly. Shedeur has the confidence in himself. The team has the confidence in him, and he's went out there and he's played well. That's the goal of the Browns this year. The goal of the Browns is to be ripped apart for winning games with Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, they could end up being meaningless games. Meaningless.
Well, they'll be very meaningful to us.
He could go out there. Yeah, but I mean, in the terms of where you are in the standings and going to the playoffs and things, he could go out there and play. I put November 9th or November 16th somewhere in there. Okay, if you get to December, late November, December, you're probably out of the race, and then Shedor's playing, and say he starts 5 games. Say he starts Tennessee through Cincinnati, and he looks good in the month of December and early January, and we call it a 2025. I want people on the air. The Browns should want people on the air ranting and raving that they've wasted they should be wanting people to call for firings because they've wasted their time. Record this. Of all the things you record, their goal should be people wanting them to call for them to be fired because that means they've prepared Kevin has prepared Shedor correctly. Because you'll call in and you'll say he should still be fired because he doesn't know what a good quarterback is. He had a good quarterback there the whole time, and he was the third-team emergency quarterback for how long? You wasted your time with Bailey Zappi because he'll probably play for how long? That's what their goal should be. And Kevin could turn right on around and go, no. You don't know where he was back in the month of September and October. I do. I know that he would be ready later on. We had to get him ready. And there you go. Now, that could just be a line of BS by the end of it. It could be total Bolsheviks if you want it to be. But that's the way it's going to be. That's the way you want it to be seen. You're not disagreeing with me.
No.
Look at that.
We found some common ground. Isn't that nice?
Is compromise still available in 20? Is it still possible in 2025?
Believe it or not.
Eric in Akron. Yellow.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Hi, Eric.
I'm with Anthony. I think you should play Shedor only because we have 2 first-round picks. We got to figure this thing out. You know, you're talking about he's not ready for the season. He's not ready for the season. Meanwhile, Andrew Berry's looking to next season. Like, what are we really doing? We got to play the kids.
Well,
we got to keep going.
Just because Andrew Berry's making trades looking at next season doesn't mean I just throw him out there to throw him out there. I got to do right by the player. If he's not ready, I'm not going to put him out there.
Would you rather see Watson first?
No. God, no. I'm saying I got to do right by him. Eventually, we might run to a time where he just has to go out there and play. But I'm going to exhaust the options while I get him ready to play. I just want to throw him out there just so we have something to look at.
Well,
He'll get to play.
If we don't just throw him out there, Ken, I mean, is he ever going to get a chance, or are we just going to draft a quarterback high next year?
He'll get his chance.
And he's going to sit behind him also.
He'll get his chance. No, I don't even know if he'll sit behind him because this has already been way too crazy.
I think he could be gone.
You might actually get your release if all the people who want him released and getting a fair shot, quote unquote, somewhere else. Yeah, they take a guy high next year. You may very well get your wish. But I'm not just going to put him out there. I have to try to agree with Kevin here, even though my trust in this staff and him is at an all-time low through 6 years. I have to try to say, hey, I question how well you know quarterbacks, but I don't think you're devoid of all knowledge. You must be trying to get him ready in some sense. I do believe you want to get him ready with a whole week of practice as a starter with a different offense, with the offense that he can run. And so I want that goal to be you are critical of the Browns at the end of the year for the type of call that Eric just said. Why aren't you just playing him? That's what I want. Eric's call is the goal because that means that he's played well and they've prepared him correctly. Coming up next, Nathan Zegura. Is Jerry Jeudy flirting with a lost season? Is it all his fault, too? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you. We'll work on the free Odyssey app. Northeast Factor Direct, Northeast.
Catch highlights from the Fan from earlier today. Get over to 923thefan.com or favorite 923 The Fan on the Odyssey app for all today's headline segments. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 923 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
In your weeknight with the best segments of the day. The Fan Rewind. Weeknights at 11.
I have been getting tweets all day. When are you going to give away the Adam Sandler tickets? Behold, I have the Adam Sandler sheet that has the tickets in my hand. 923 The Fan looking for a winner. Enter the code word SINGER at 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. Your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend Tour. Monday, October 13th at Rocket Arena. Tickets available at rocketarena.com, all from Live Nation and Sports Radio 923 Fan.
Jerry Jeudy has got to catch the football. It was a problem last week. It was a problem in the opener against Cincinnati, and it's a problem again here today.
That was Nathan Zegura on Jerry Jeudy last week, and the Browns lost to the Minnesota Vikings over there in Joliet. So far, Jerry Jeudy, 15 catches, 197 yards, no touchdowns. It's got to be better. And we're going into week 6. And I got to wonder, and, the quarterback play, scatter shot, it was better last week. The offensive line play, scatter shot, 4/5 of it was good, but my God, the left tackle position was terrible. So there are some excuses, but we're running out of them, and I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be pretty frustrated, but he's got to hold on to the football. And to talk about it all, we welcome in Nathan Zegura, who joins us from the Browns Radio Network. Follow him on Twitter, at Nathan Zegura. Nathan, it's week 6. We're in the middle of the month of October. Are we flirting with a lost season for Jerry Jeudy?
No, I mean, listen, he has got to play better. I know he knows he's got to play better. Unfortunately, not only have the 5 drops been more than you would like, but they've come at inopportune times. They've come on a 4th down against the Detroit Lions, and when you had a chance to make that a 1-score game, then they return the punt on the next play. And then, of course, the 3rd down there in Minnesota where you're trying to help out your rookie quarterback. So, no, it's not 35 targets. 15 receptions. That's not good. That's the lowest catch rate of his entire career thus far. He's averaging the lowest yards per target of his career at 5.6. His career average is 8.4. He's been 8.5 or better. And in fact, his average right around 9 yards a target over the last 3 seasons. So this is still a very small sample size. 35 targets. We're talking about a guy who last year had 145 targets. So it's a small sample size. I think there's still plenty of football left for Jerry Jeudy to play. I know that the team believes in Jerry Jeudy. I certainly believe in Jerry Jeudy. He was a Pro Bowler last year. The guy knows how to get open. He's going to catch the football. But so far, it has been a slow start to the season. And when you're an offense that is in need, right, and that's what we are. We are an offense in need of productivity, in need of scoring, all of those things, outside really of Quinshon Judkins. You need your number 1 receiver. You need your Pro Bowler to be that guy that elevates everything, that makes plays for your quarterback, much like Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying they're necessarily on the same level, but Justin Jefferson made a huge play for Carson Wentz down the stretch last week. That's what the Browns need from Jerry Jeudy, and he certainly is capable of it.
Are you a believer, Nathan, in chemistry? Because sometimes you see quarterbacks come off the street and all of a sudden, they're hitting guys in stride. It's tough to anticipate. Do you think maybe Jeudy just didn't have chemistry with Joe Flacco this time around?
I know that that's not the case because I watched them in practice, and it's funny. People forget when we went to Charlotte and we had joint practices where we had ones-on-ones. We went to Philadelphia and had ones-on-ones. Jerry Jeudy was annihilating people. The fact that Jerry Jeudy was not off to a massive start this season is a big surprise because anybody who watched this team in practice, anybody who watched the team in those joint practices, saw Joe Flacco and Jerry Jeudy have a great connection. And so, no, I think that, like Joe Flacco came in and had connection with Amari Cooper right away, and that was successful. He had a connection with David Njoku right away. And Chief really hadn't gotten going until this game. I think it's just, we have not operated at a high level. We have not been good on 3rd downs, regardless of who the quarterback has been. And that means that then you don't get as many plays on offense. You don't get as many long drives. You don't get as many opportunities. So I don't think it's a chemistry issue. I think that, some of those things need to be worked out. But I also think people forget that in the beginning of the offseason, the people getting when I'm going back before training camp, people getting the first team reps were Pickett and Gabriel. And then you go to start training camp, and it was Pickett and Gabriel. Flacco didn't really get the reps until there was the injury to Kenny Pickett. I'm not saying that's why they didn't have chemistry, because they did, because I saw it, and then he got the majority of the reps with Gabriel getting the others. But no, I think that it's one of the, we just got to make plays. It really is that simple. And I know that sounds very cliche and very cheesy, but this is an offense right now where you need your playmakers to just go make plays. I'll give you a perfect example. Joku high-pointing that ball on that little hole shot against cover 2 last week, going up and getting it, and Dylan Gabriel giving him a chance to make a play, and he made it. We need more of that.
Nathan Zegura joining us here on the Fan Hotline. I'm starting to worry a little bit about Isaiah Bond. I'm worried maybe he's starting to get a little lost in the offense here, Nathan. Make me feel better.
What do you mean by lost in the offense?
Because you're doing the game, you're on the radio, and Lima noticed. I noticed after Lima, the announcers had said like, they slowed down a little bit on a route here, and there's times where it doesn't seem like it's maybe finishing and some of the stuff there. And I go, well, he didn't have like a preseason. He joined late. Here he is in the team, expected to be at least a part of the offense here, and there could be a lot coming after him, or coming to him. I kind of want to know how he's progressing, I guess.
So I think with Isaiah Bond, you're seeing a couple of things. Number one, if you go back and watch the Minnesota game, there are 2 plays where he got behind the defense completely, but because of protection issues, which you mentioned earlier, we weren't able to get him the football. Isaiah Bond is a speed guy. That's what he's doing. And I think that for a young player, we're all kind of marveling at what Quinshon Judkins has been able to do without a training camp. Isaiah Bond didn't have any kind of an offseason. And so I think that there are nuances to route running that are sometimes an adjustment from going from college where he was gotten kind of near the line of scrimmage a lot or got it very far down the field on vertical routes. So I think there are nuances there. He is an incredibly talented kid. He is a very smart kid and a hard worker, so I think he will get it. I think what we're seeing is, it used to be it took 3 years, right, for receivers to come in the league and be good. That's not the case anymore. But I think, given his off season, that there probably are some growing pains. There are probably some, they haven't had a ton of reps together. I think that's much more an apropos thing with Isaiah Bond. When you watch him, there are multiple plays a game. He, by the way, has the longest reception on the season for the Cleveland Browns this year, 38 yards. But there are multiple plays a game where he gets open vertically. We just have to be able to sync those times up when we get the protection so we can deliver him the football. I like him. I think that in an ideal world, he's a guy that's probably playing, 20 snaps a game where you come in and you have some things in the game plan that you really like for him, and then as he is able to develop, you get more and more going forward. But with the injury to Cedric Tillman, he's kind of been thrust a little bit more into this role. And again, I think very talented. I think patience with Isaiah Bond is a good thing. I think it's a great ball of clay, and I think he's going to be productive for the Browns in the future. But when you watch it, there are some times where it feels like maybe the route depth is not exactly what the quarterback was expecting. The one play where he kind of stopped, where he ran into the corner, I think Gabriel threw it over there thinking that he'd get a flag because that was contact well beyond 5 yards, and there should have been a flag on that one. But he does have an ability to get open down the field. We just haven't been able to capitalize on it yet, and he's shown the ability, I think, on his receptions to make catches in traffic. He's done a very good job, especially over the middle of the field. So I think there's a lot to work with there. I think it's just more time on task and understanding the nuances of this game at this level that will allow him to kind of unlock all that talent. But I'd say arrows pointing up, but it's going to be, I think he's in a role right now that, ideally he wouldn't have been in if it weren't for the Cedric Tillman injury.
Nathan Zegura joining us right now on the hotline from the Browns Radio Network. It seemed like the most reaction I saw from Kevin Stefanski this week talking about the quarterbacks was that people think Bailey Zappi is going to be named the backup later today. Was that your takeaway, or do you think that's an assumption people should not be making?
Mike, in terms of what Kevin Stefanski thinks about it?
Well, no, just his communication. He left it up in the air.
Yeah, I think look, we'll find that out. The reality is the backup quarterback doesn't play unless there's an injury to the starter. Dylan Gabriel's the starter. I think we'll find out what they think. I think that obviously Shedeur is an incredibly talented quarterback. If he is the backup, obviously they have great confidence in him. I was reading a tweet yesterday that Luke McCown wrote, and he was talking about when he was in Tampa, he was the backup, went into a game and did okay after an injury, and he comes back and he's like, I don't understand. Next week they demoted him to third string, and the coaches told him, look, we like you more if you had a whole week at this stage of your career to prepare and to get all the reps, we like you as a starter. So if there's an injury to the starter and you get a full week, you're actually the number 2. But in game situations, we're actually going to make Bruce Gradkowski the number 2 because he's a guy who's been in the league for a little bit longer than you. We know that he's started games. He can just kind of come in without the same number of reps needed during the week. So I think that could be a scenario that potentially plays out. That was Luke McCown's kind of just take on the whole situation. I don't know what the answer is going to be, but I think that, Bailey has started in the NFL 9 games, so maybe they feel more comfortable without getting reps that he could slide in there, whereas if what they want to play Shedeur, they would want to get him a full week of work. That would be kind of the rationale in my mind if Shedeur is not the number 2. I think Shedeur was obviously on the 53-man roster. Bailey Zappi was not. So in big picture, they like him more. I think that could maybe be the answer if that's the case. And if not, if Shedeur is just the number 2, it's because he's the second-best quarterback on this team.
Nathan, can Cam Robinson take over full-time as the left tackle here?
He better be able to. I mean, listen, it unfortunately, it really can't be much worse, right? Cornelius Lucas had given up 28 pressures in 4 games at the time, and last week was inactive. At the time that he had given up those 28 pressures, nobody else in the NFL, no offensive lineman had given up more than 18. So that wasn't working. You give KT Levison an opportunity last week. That really didn't go well. He's given up 3 sacks and 13 pressures this season. Cam Robinson has started 102 games. Cam Robinson's a former second-round pick. Cam Robinson has started for Minnesota last year, 10 games when they had a very good offense. So I think that, yes, he can solidify that left tackle position. Do we expect him to go out there and be a Pro Bowler? I think you'd say no. That hasn't happened yet in his career. But can he just be serviceable over there and kind of minimize the damage that's been happening? I think that would be very helpful. Now, last week we saw him in his 7 snaps, had a couple of penalties in those 7 snaps, so we got to make sure he's lined up in the proper way. The officials, it's really been a point of emphasis for those guys. You got to have your helmet at least on the belt buckle of the center. But, yeah, I think that's why they made the move to acquire him, is to kind of shore this thing up. And I thought Jack Conklin came back. He played very well last week. Joel Bitonio is a wonder. When you know what he's dealing with, the fact that he's going out there and playing at the level he is really incredible. I think Ethan Post is having a nice year. Wyatt's having a good year, especially in the run game. So, yeah, if you can solidify that last tackle spot, I think that will do wonders for this passing game because, quite frankly, John Judkins in this ground game is working very, very well.
Nathan Zegura joining us here on the show. Did you see Jackson Dart last night?
I did.
All right, Tone, ask him, because I was sick to my stomach when Tone asked me.
Did the Browns miss out on another quarterback?
I mean, he was drafted in the spot where they didn't have a pick, so I don't know. And it's way too early. He also lost were you asking that question when he lost to New Orleans last week?
We ask it only after quarterbacks have good weeks.
Thank you.
Come on, Nathan. Are you new to this show? Do you understand how we operate, Nathan?
Yes. Listen, I like watching Jackson Dart. I don't know about you guys, but what he reminds me of a little bit is maybe not quite Jay Cutler in terms of the pure thrower, but he's like a little Jay Cutler, but with a lot more wiggle. The one thing I worry about with Jackson Dart is you've got to play 17 games, and the way that he exposes himself to contact is not a recipe for playing 17 games. But watching him and Scadaboo and the Giants kind of have that moxie and that physicality last night was awesome. I will say there was something I saw during that game that I thought was repugnant, and that was 4 straight tush pushes. Like, get that out. Where are we playing rugby?
You took me there. That was going to be my next question. You took me there. Get out of here. I believe there was was there not a timeout in the middle of that? So there would have been 5. I thought there would have been 5.
I don't know. It was awful to watch. I mean, it was brutal to watch. First of all, the right guard false starts on every single one of them. Like, just call the play. They got to get rid of it. It's too, or at least you can run it once. You can't run it twice in a row. Like, enough. That was disgusting.
Who's the Eagles play caller again? It's not Sirianni. Who's the Eagles play caller? Do we know off the top of our head?
I don't know his name, but he's the new one. Because remember, Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator last year. He's now the head coach in New Orleans. I think it starts with an L. They were talking about it last night, and I know that there's a lot of disquietude around his performance and what's going on with that offense.
Kevin Patullo. So there's an L. So it feels like that. If I'm Nick Sirianni, I'm probably cussing him out, going, "You put a spotlight on this play, and now I'm not." Like, you got to think big picture. Now I got to protect this play. I have Amazon Prime put a zoom in. Now, of course, they slowed it down so it looks egregious, but they're definitely jumping off sides, or they're definitely false starting, I should say. Then you try to do it 4 straight times, which you probably would have done it 5 straight times. Now I don't know who gave the code red, so maybe it was Sirianni who just said do it. But if you didn't do it now, what's the talk of the country? It's Jackson Dart and the Tush Push this morning. You're kind of exposing yourself. You want to be able to use the play. It came to 2 votes during the offseason there. So I'm mad if I'm Nick Sirianni. Let me ask you this: what do you do to outlaw the Tush Push? I had an idea, but I want your idea first.
I just think they're going to vote to ban it. I think it'll be a rule vote, and I think they'll vote to ban it this year. I don't know exactly what the rule is going to be for them to ban it, but yeah, they've got it. That wasn't even football. It was ridiculous last night. I remember, and I was on a bunch of group chats, and it's like all of them instantly, this is awful. Get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of it. Yeah, I think that was right there. The Fonz was on his water skis, picking up speed, boom, right over the shark, and that was it.
I totally agree. My idea was, I think that you institute a rule where nobody with the ball, or you can't push a ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage.
That used to be the rule. You couldn't assist a ball carrier.
But I'm saying behind the line of scrimmage. Like if Quinshon Judkins carries it 9 yards, he's close to a first. Like who was it? Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, like the play in Baltimore a couple years ago, which was awesome when we ended up moving Jerome Ford.
That's it.
Like another 10 yards. Yeah, I think you're right. You cannot do it behind the line of scrimmage. I think that makes it easy. But yeah, I think you blew it, boy. They blew it right there. By the way, little known fact. I don't know if you guys know this, but I came across Henry Winkler saying that he was such a great skier that's how the whole genesis of this came up. Somebody in his family told Ron Howard, hey, man, you got to see him ski. So they came up with the jumping the shark idea to have him ski. He actually did the skiing. He didn't do the jump. It was too valuable of a property, obviously, the Fonz, but he actually did the skiing in that scene. Little known fact.
I thought he admitted that during a Jim Rome interview years ago, but I'm not sure.
Maybe he did. I came across recently, and then the guy was like blown away, and he's like, "Yeah, not only do people know that I did that, but that's how it came about."
What a remarkable man Henry Winkler is. What a remarkable man you are, Nathan. We'll be listening to you on Sunday afternoon. Hopefully the Browns will get themselves a win out there in Pittsburgh, and we'll have a much sunnier disposition on Monday morning than we did this last Monday morning.
Couldn't agree anymore. That would be fantastic.
Nathan, thank you very much for the time. The great Nathan Zegura on the Fan Hotline. All right, you heard what that was. They're hot on Shedeur. I got to get to the game on Sunday. I'm going to make an attempt to talk about the game on Sunday. Is that okay?
Sure.
You can attempt anything. I can attempt to run a marathon and don't mean it's going to happen. 216-474-0092. Coming in hot, coming up at 9:43 on the Fan. Can Kevin start to redeem himself on Sunday afternoon? It's coming up on the Fan.
the catch. Would convert it a long third down.
Listen for Scott Petrak from the Chronicle Telegram Monday mornings at 11 on Cleveland's Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
So far, it has been a slow start to the season, and when you're an offense that is in need, right, and that's what we are. We are an offense in need of productivity, in need of scoring, all of those things, outside really of Quinshon Judkins. This is an offense right now where you need your playmakers to just go make plays.
You ain't got none of that right now. There's none of that going on. None of that going on. But I asked the question. You took it a step further. You made it even better. Sorry if I spooked anybody by saying but. You made it even better when you had said, okay, because I thought, can Kevin redeem himself with a win over the Steelers? And you said, well, not really. And I thought, well, yeah, there's a chance he could start that process. Yeah. And you had brought up, well, does he have to score a lot of points? Or I said, no, I think you're a head coach, just win. I think your offense right now, your protection is not good. Your left tackle position is a disgrace to left tackles. I don't even want to say a disgrace to the memory of Joe Thomas playing. Like, it's not even that. It's just, it's got worse and worse and worse as you try to make the decisions better. Like, you're making, like, it's the increasingly poor decisions of Todd Margaret over at the left tackle spot. If you come away with a win, like we've had several people get in, and it's amazing. They just responded to the Shador videos on Twitter. They don't respond to the actual one where I brought up, the game and the game plan, but that's okay.
Who cares about that? Shador.
They say, you guys don't care about the game on Sunday. All you do is talk about the quarterbacks. It's not true. I care about the game on Sunday. Your general manager made trades this week. Does your general manager care about the game on Sunday?
2 of your starters to start the season.
Does your organization care about the game on Sunday? That's what I ask. And so I'm not going to fool you guys or fool myself and sit here and give some fire and brimstone speech about the Pittsburgh Steelers and how much we hate Pittsburgh and get Pony on here and cuss each other out and kick him off the air with sweet chin music. I don't do any of that if I don't trust him to go back it up. How much you know me. I love to talk about Pittsburgh, the Steelers, and the Steelers fans and rip them and get them all worked up and do all that crap. I love to do it.
Ken, it's what you do best.
Yeah. How much have I done it this week? None. Because I have no faith that they're going to go out there and they're actually going to do it. I'd love to be wrong. I told Owen to record it. He records everything. And so he only gets the stuff to make me look bad. But I hope that I look bad here. I want them to do it. But I don't have faith that they will. I have to issue as a fan a challenge. I think fans have to issue a challenge. It's your emotions. It's your emotions. It's your good sense that's on the line this weekend. Because I'm not hearing it. The phone lines are open, friends. If you guys want to sit here and whoop it up about taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's been open to you all week.
We have music,
None of you wanted to do it. None of you wanted to do it. Because I think we all feel the same way. And that's not your fault, and that's not my fault. That's their fault. That's their fault. We've argued more about Andrew Berry and Champions Pose over the salary cap in the future, even though what he's created here is not very good right now, and you're not winning football games. But fine, we'll continue to have off-season arguments during the regular season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not my fault. It's not Tone's fault. I didn't trade Greg Newsome on Wednesday night. It's not my fault. It's not Tone's fault. I didn't have a four-man quote-unquote quarterback competition. It's not my fault. It's not Tone's fault to trade away a guy who is a quote-unquote retread that could have played and could have started and that they planned on starting. It's not my fault, and it's not Tone's fault that they got Joe Flacco to start the season, and even though that's something I wanted, that they traded him away because he was bad, and that they're going to move forward with Dylan Gabriel, and they didn't even put Shador Sanders in as the backup. It's not my fault and Tone's fault that everything we have to talk about because we want to smile every now and then is about the future. It's not about the now, because the right now ain't very sunny. And I think a lot of Browns fans think they're going to go there and they're just going to lose. Because you don't trust the culture. You don't trust the head coach to get them motivated. You don't trust the players to motivate themselves. So it's on them. This is a challenge. I'm not trying to even be mean about it. It's a flat out challenge to a bunch of guys who I don't think you trust to go out there and win a football game. And it is going to be winnable. It is. But are you going to be able to do what's necessary and block out all the distractions, the distraction caused by your own front office and the trade? Are you going to be able to do that, or is it just going to turn into a giant rock concert again, where everybody's going to have their denim jackets on, and they're going to start playing Renegade, and they'll start waving those towels and speaking with that weird accent that they have out there, which, boy, you can always count that now. Dustin always, alerted me to that, and I never noticed until Dustin said it and, overpronounced it. I go, man, that's right, they do got an accent out there, don't they? Yeah, they'll turn this thing into a giant Donnie Iris concert. They've done it before, and if you let them, they'll do it again. It's been a house of horrors for a long time, with the exception of the one night when no one was there. It was one of the greatest nights ever. First round playoff game. That's all we have. I mean, they expect to be, are they 3-1 because they had the bye week? They expect to be 4-1. That's an expectation. I got Pony guaranteeing victory. Now, he's usually wrong. That makes me feel better about things, but I got Pony guaranteeing a victory out there. Yeah, it's on the players. Ain't on me to get you worked up. Ain't on me. The challenge is right there. Jerry Jeudy's got to hold on to the football. They have Alex Highsmith, who's going to be limping around a little bit. He'll get ready, get taped up, quote unquote, and get ready to go, I'm sure. Dylan's got to get rid of the football. Left tackle's got to make some blocks. It's simple. It's right in front of you guys. Defensively, Aaron Rodgers can put it on you still, so your secondary is going to be challenged. Tyson Campbell is going to get a wake-up call real quick about what fans here expect out of this defense and expect out of him as a corner. This is a much larger fan base than Jacksonville. So if you think that the Jaguars fans were coming after you, wait until you get a load of us. So the challenge is there, guys, and it's just that simple. Are you going to go out there, and are we going to do the same thing we've done where it's just sinking right nice into the tub, or are you going to go out there and win a football game, stick it to me, and get us going again? Even if you fool me, shame on me. Let it be shame on me. Get it going. Billy in Cleveland, you're next up on the Fan.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, you know what, man? All right, so you're talking about the trust factor, going into this game. If Shedeur Sanders was the one plugged into this game, I have more trust and I have more hope that the Browns will come out with a W. What it is Dylan. He just looks dull. He's just dull entertainment. You know what I'm getting at?
You said exactly what I first thought. You said exactly what I first thought. You won't. No. I don't agree with you, Bill. But you're making my point for me, Billy. You don't have faith, so you just want to be entertained by him.
Right, exactly.
There you go. But I don't think you would have. Yes, but I don't think you would have more faith in Shedeur Sanders. I think you're just curious. Maybe you like him, and that's cool. I like him too. But you just want to be entertained because I think you know how how this game is going to turn out. So if you know how this game's going to turn out, you might as well be entertained.
And you know what? That's great how you actually just said that right there. I'm curious on this win if it was, Shedeur Sanders. It's just something about Dylan. He just looks dull. I mean, he got a little earring on his little left ear. He just looks like he's not grown yet. He still has that college little swag to him.
Well, I mean,
that doesn't put hope.
That part I disagree with. I think he's 25 years old. Thank you for the call. Grown man. But this is what it is. I think half the reason we're arguing about Shedeur is because you just want to be entertained. You just want to be entertained. Dylan will go out there and conduct the offense as best he can. I don't know if he's going to light up the Pittsburgh sky. I think that some of us have wondered how to take Dylan Gabriel's performance. I think we've been all over the map. Like saying it provides hope. Hope for what? Did that provide hope for him being a franchise quarterback? And that way too soon? Considering what he did yesterday? So I think that we're just going, hey, I want to be entertained because you don't have faith in the head coach and you don't have faith in the leadership of the football team to carry you through. Take a look behind you there, Tone. 216-474-0092. Tone, right behind you there. Do you see him behind you? He knows. Jim's here. The godfather of Lima's children is here. He's bringing us sandwiches. Oh, my gosh, he's got plenty of food. All right, we got coming in hot. I got to wait until the YouTube thing clicks off so people can't see me eat. 216-474-0092. Coming in hot. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. Coming up next on The Fan.
Anthony
on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Sundays do not exist without us.
Intercepted! Picked off by Delpit! He's at the 20! Far sideline, tackled by Love! Now he's still going! Inside the 5!
This is the radio home of the Cleveland Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
This is Coach Kevin Stefanski, and it's time for Coming In Hot.
I'll lay the challenge down right now because it's going to take guts to go over there and beat him. You're going to have to ask more because you don't have the horses to just go out there and beat him. You might have a couple of good diamonds in the rough right there, but you ain't got the horses. So you got a football team that has finished around 9-8 over the last how many years? That has really just existed over the last how many years with Mike Tomlin. Don't think there's not a chance to go out there and beat him. There's a chance to do it. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction? And not having Joe there, that's fine. But are you going to be able to put away the distraction and not having Greg Newsome there? Of all the conversation that's been going around this week about everything that's not the Pittsburgh Steelers, are you going to be able to compartmentalize that and go beat them? I don't think you can. The challenge is out there. Damn right. That's damn right. Are we ready for coming in hot?
Us gonna fire the callers up for sure. They're gonna have great song parodies.
That's what it's gonna do.
And good one-liners. And impressions.
All right, Cleveland, it's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. You're coming in hot. Coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
216-474-0092. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. You ready?
Let's
Away we
go.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Quarterback stability. Well, now, let me see. You know, as a Browns fan, I don't have any idea what that means. I know what you think it means, Sonny. To me, they're just made-up words. Front office words so that fellas like Paul D. Podesta can wear a suit and tie and have a job. What do you really want to know? I'm sorry for being a Browns fan. There's not a day goes by I don't feel regret. Not because of 1-31 of the Deshaun Watson trade, because you think I should. I look back on the way I was in 1999, a young, stupid kid who committed to this terrible franchise. I want to talk to him. I want to try to talk some sense to him. Tell him the way things are. But I can't now. That kid's long gone, and this old man's all that's left. I've got to live with that. Quarterback stability, they're just BS words. So you go on and stop Bailey Zappi, Sonny, and stop wasting my time. Because to tell you the truth, I don't give a crap.
It could be one and done to Owen.
I know.
That's amazing.
It's not going to get better than that.
I know. But amazing. It's amazing.
We'll see.
That was incredible. That was
Good
incredible.
Job.
What a good job by that guy. Hello, you're coming in hot. Good luck.
You know, the great thing about you guys being on YouTube now is we're getting closer to the Christmas season. We got to get Ken a beard. You put the Santa suit on, and then we all get to watch you say, "Now I get to shake my belly like a bowl full of jelly."
We'll bring a lawnmower here in the office.
It's my favorite episode.
Ah, for the love of Christ! Which is crazy. You know how period accurate that show is where they like looked at him like in 2025. It's like, that's a terrible accident, but we'll figure it out. No, his life was essentially over in 1967. He can't even earn a living anymore.
No.
Who brings a mower in? Who turns on the blades?
They didn't have that technology back then.
Oh, they didn't have an actuator? Just the blade started when you started the mower? Oh.
That's all belts and pulleys, man. Belts and pulleys.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Yeah, can you guys start announcing what hour it is? That way I know when to lock in for, Lima Lights and About Last Night.
What does that mean?
You must be doing it on the Odyssey app.
I'll tell you later.
That was an inside joke. I like it.
Oh, boy, I get it now.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
This is Norman with an Odyssey Sportsman. The Bengals are banking on it. The trade for Joe Flacco will repeat the Browns letting go of Baker Mayfield, who's now perched high atop a totem pole at Tampa Bay. Joe Cool Flacco may not fit into the cleats of Joe Cool Burrow, but Cincinnatians are hoping the trade will bring a groovy kind of love to the Queen City. I'm Norman.
What's gone wrong in sports?
I can't do the impression anymore.
No, it ruins
bad luck.
Ken
It
for the
ruins
next
my voice.
2 weeks.
Yep, it ruins my voice. It's God telling me you can't make fun of him.
So
He doesn't have a trip to Universal Studios coming up or anything, so he's going to have to be here.
Come on.
Yeah. Somebody else called me out on that. Oh, I just got the other joke, by the way, too. Thank you, Lima and Owen. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Yeah, I'm going to need a little studio participation. Feel free to stamp your fingers when you feel the need.
Okay.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and loopy. They're all together fluky. The Browns front office. The old stadium's a museum. When people come to see them, they're hoping for a win. Nothing but a bedroom. The Browns front office. To play another QB, a poor performance jubilee. We still gotta pay off the Shawnee. The Browns front office. It's time to unleash the dog.
Oh my God!
I tried to play along with him.
I know.
I'm gonna kick your face. You'll be out of this place.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
But I want to ride Mickey's Runaway Railway. You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
Those security guys, I thought I was going to get thrown out. By the way, she used different ground beef for the Sloppy Joes.
You were wondering.
Nice.
It was a different ground beef. I had to have a discussion. I did it respectfully. Thank God. The Wagyu was put back into the fridge. A different ground beef was used, and the Sloppy Joes were outstanding.
It wasn't Ed Gein's venison, was it?
Who am I to know?
You
Who
did
am
it
I
right.
to know? And you said his name right.
He earned the respect.
He earned the respect. Did you get to the part where they burned the house down yet?
Yes.
Okay. Did you finish the whole show?
Yeah, that wasn't a big deal. They didn't portray that as any big deal.
You know, he tried to get his mom out of her grave, but they buried her in a sandy place, and then they tombed her in concrete. He couldn't do it.
He had to pivot.
Yep. Had to find other people's moms. Can't get my mom. My mom's already ashes, buddy. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Yeah, Ken, if you think we just want entertainment, why don't you talk Haslam into getting some cheerleaders to look at with some entertainment? And as far as Sanders goes, it's just going to be a big hot and flash in the pan like Mike Phipps. You remember that? That's the page.
Mike Phipps.
Snorted it.
Every guy who brings up Mike Phipps sounds the same. Like that guy. Like, guys, there's an image in your head right now as you're driving around of a guy who brings up Mike Phipps, and you're all right. You know exactly what the guy who brings up Mike Phipps looks like.
Phippsy.
We can take two more. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Sunglasses in the car. Go ahead. Coming in hot.
We're double clutching here.
We should have stopped that.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Prior to this year's draft, the only draft that the thought partners were nailing were at the Masthead Brewery or perhaps the Bookhouse Brewery. Thanks and have a great day.
Local distributors getting it.
Plugs.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hi, this is Coach Kevin Stefanski, and it's time for Coming In Hot. Dylan Gabriel went to college almost as long as Tommy Callahan. That's pretty funny. I had to talk to Myles Garrett to stop driving the way he is, or the new guy's going to be over here puking his guts out. I had to talk to DeJuan Jones because he keeps taking bear claws 2 at a time. I asked Isaiah Bond what kind of route he was running. He told me he was just checking the specs on the rotary girder over there. And no, in all seriousness, we have to start winning games starting now, or else we're going to lose a lot of jobs in Berea, and that's when the whores come in.
Very good.
I had that thought every time you brought up Baker Mayfield this week. Like, I was like, oh, here we go. Like the people in the boardroom meeting. So I felt.
Knowing that my rap is going to be.
Thank God the week's over on the Baker Mayfield talk. There's no
nice.
way he's going to replicate that.
It'd be nice if they won this week.
Yeah. The Browns? Yeah, hell yeah. We're back Monday, 6 to 10. For Big Country, who is Owen. For Jeff, for Mitch, for the Slippery Wizard, Anthony Lima. I'm Ken Carman. Have a wonderful day, my friends. Take care. Go Browns. Have a wonderful Tall Boy Friday.
If I'll say you've served 40 years of a life sentence, you feel you've been rehabilitated?
Rehabilitated? You know, I don't have any idea what that means.
Well, it means you're ready to rejoin society.
I know what you think it means, Sonny. But do you really want to know? Am I sorry for what I did? I look back on the way I was then. That kid's long gone, and this old man is all that's left. Rehabilitated. It's just a word. So you...
Whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Hey, sounds good.
Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show. Bye, honey. Have a great day.
It's time for some commercials.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Remember when Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown was caught on camera consulting a book on the